Well, hello, everybody. Dennis here from Canoehound Adventures, and thanks for joining into the stream tonight. We got a very exciting show tonight. It's something that I've been waiting for quite a while now, and I think the night's going to flow along pretty good. Just to tell you a little bit about us first, this is Canoehound's Outdoor Adventure Show, and it's a show that's going to bring you all kinds of outdoor content and YouTube creators that create the stuff that we love to watch. So we stream live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to be part of the show, feel free to join in anytime. Just want to go over a little bit of news, a couple of announcements before we get into our guest tonight. This week, Canoehound Adventures, I posted part 2 of my series of how to build a raised back lean-to shelter, which was a great outing for me and my dog Molly. Happened on Saturday. And we're lucky enough that we beat that nasty ice storm that we had down here in southern Ontario on Sunday, which had the power out to so many houses, including ourselves. But we prevailed. We have power back, and we're all good to go for the rest of the week. So that's a good thing. If you haven't already done so, please hit that subscribe button, smash the thumbs up later on in the show if you like the way it's going. And make sure you hit that bell notification. That way there you can be alerted as to what's coming up on future episodes of Canoehound's Outdoor Adventure Show. And if you want to keep up to date on what's actually happening with the show, future listings of future guests and things of that sort, you could check us out and follow us on our Facebook page at the same name, Canoehound's Outdoor Adventure Show. And we have all kinds of neat and fun posts that will be going up on there. Just wanted to thank everybody who has been sending me correspondence through email, through Facebook Messenger, and other sources. It's great to hear feedback from everybody. I'm glad that the show is headed in the right direction, and it makes me glad to create content for you guys that you enjoy to watch. If you have any ideas of future guests or topics for the show, let me know. I'll do everything I can to see what I can do to, bring you the best content that we can. And just wanted to touch on one thing. This past weekend was, of course, you got your Black Friday and Cyber Monday and all the neat things and sales that go on in there. Well, because I didn't post at that time, I just wanted to put a special offer up on my Teespring account. I've got men's and ladies t-shirts, which carry this logo here. And let's see, make sure. And basically, I've got them on my Teespring account at cost. So if anybody wants to buy one, I'm not looking to make any profit. I just want you all to look your very best when you're in the outdoors there. And so hit up the Teesprings account. I believe that I have the link down below in the description. And what else have we got? Anything else here I'm missing? No, that's about it. So over the last little while, I've been speaking with our guest and trying to get her on the show and just trying to make dates mingle that would work for both of us. And today was the day that we agreed upon. Tonight's guest is someone I started following quite a while ago on her very popular YouTube channel. I had the opportunity to meet with her at the Ontario Winter Camping Symposium there a couple weeks ago. And at the show, she probably had on display her most recent creation, which is her oversized winter camping tent. She made it herself, and I must say that she did a fantastic job. Like, this thing is beautiful. Nice windows in it, the whole 9 yards, right? So she did a great job. Let's see here. She during the hard water season, she's a winter camper. When the ice melts, she loves the solo canoe, and she's navigated countless backcountry canoe routes. And over the last couple of years, she's been exclusively pretty much paddling one of my favorite areas, the Temagami region. Like everybody, to meet Camper Christina. How you doing?
Hi.
Hey, love that background. Look at that. Somebody's been busy.
I needed a backdrop, so I was tired of having the boring wall behind me when I was on your show. So I thought I'd put a couple pictures up of some of my favorite people and some of my favorite places. So
that's awesome. And I see, is that Alex Mathias over your head?
It sure is. Yeah.
Awesome. We'll get into that a little bit later for sure. Your backdrop's a little better than mine. I'm waiting till 2020. I got some plans worked out, so we're going to try and get this the studio looking a little better as things progress here at the show. So
Cool.
that's awesome. So Christina, tell me and a bunch of our viewers a little bit about yourself.
Oh, well, my name is Christina. I'm also known as Camper Christina, and I'm born and raised in St. Catharines, Ontario. I moved to Muskoka about 3.5 years ago to follow my passions. I'll get into that a little bit more later. And I love the outdoors. I've always loved the outdoors since I was a child. I just actually, I didn't get into backcountry camping until I was in my early 30s. Believe it or not. So, yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. So how did you get your start as a solo canoeist? Like,
Well, I did my very first backcountry trip in Algonquin Park in 2002. I was 32 years old, and yes, you can do the math. I'm turning 50 in a couple months. And I did a 5-day trip. I had pretty much never really canoed at all. I was dating someone at the time. He was like, yeah, let's do it. We went to the Grand River and did a little practice canoe paddle for a couple hours, and then I studied at the library and stuff like that. And from that very first trip, I was just in love. I just thought it was the greatest thing ever. And the years went on, and I kind of had this boyfriend or that boyfriend, and didn't really have any friends that were into it. So I went now and then, but not very often. And in 2015, I entered a contest. Woods Canada had a huge contest to become a woods explorer. They would pay someone $20,000 to travel the Trans-Canada Trail for 5 months. And I obviously didn't win. But I spent almost a month getting my application together, what I call my outdoors resume, and, going through all my little slips. I kept all those little backcountry slips of all the trips I did. And when I wrote out all the places I had been, and it just reignited a hunger in me for getting back out there. And, I was going, but not really very often. And I said, you know what? I'm tired of waiting, right? That perfect person who's going to come with me on all these trips, maybe that's not going to happen. And so I started walking around the block, and then I started going on hikes by myself, and then I started doing day paddles. And one night I bit the bullet and I went to the Massasauga. I just did a one-night trip. I had enough glow sticks to probably start a rave. I called my mom. I was scared. I'm scared of the dark. If some of you don't know that, I do mention it quite a bit in my videos and stuff, but I'm scared of the dark. So I had set my tent way up in the back because it was supposed to be a stormy night. And about midnight, I went to go to bed, and I was like, no. Brought it all the way back up to the front, moved it at like 12 o'clock at night. I ended up getting about 5 hours sleep, but I survived. And I enjoy 90% of it. It's the nighttime and the dark that was really scaring me, but the rest of it, I was used to. I was used to being out by myself. I was used to doing day trips and exploring the forest and being alone. So it wasn't a huge leap. And the more I did it, the more comfortable I got. And it's led me to doing, 5 and 6 day solos by myself as work allows me to go. I'd like to do bigger trips, but, I'd rather do 25-day trips or 4-day trips than 1 2-week trip, right?
are you still afraid of the dark?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you just need a brighter headlamp, perhaps, or a couple of nice lanterns?
I have it very bright. I have an Army Tech headlamp from our friends at Man Camping, and it's super bright. But I'm just used to it now. I guess you go and you do these things over and over and over, and the more you do it, the less incidents happen. The more you get comfortable, right? And you don't really worry about things as much because nothing happens. So, you just get more and more comfortable. I've also taken a lot of courses over the duration of becoming what I do now. I have my level 1 and my level 2 instructor. I have my level 1 and level 2 kayaking, my basic instructor, my wilderness first aid. I've taken my Canoe 1 to 4 certifications. I've got Map and Compass level 1 and 2. And doing all those things too really gives you like a lot of confidence And it builds you up, and it makes you, once you really know what to do and you go through all those things, you just get more comfortable with being out there and knowing how to handle every situation.
Just like any hobby, the more you do it, the more comfortable you become and the better you get at it, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Yep.
And now I don't have to worry about anybody coming with me. I can go whenever I want, and it's great. I don't have to worry about anybody being available or having their schedule meet mine, and it's perfect.
So how often are people asking you, hey, can I come on a canoe trip with you?
It's amazing. The last 2 years have been a lot of, I get a lot of, I'll go with you. And I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of good now. I've gotten to the point where I enjoy being out there by myself. I do a couple of trips with Sue from Sue's Outdoor Crew. I think you met her at the symposium.
I did, yes.
She's a great, great person. She also has a family that she goes camping with. But every once in a while we go on trip, but I really enjoy going out by myself, and I get to do whatever I want. I'm filming. You know what that's like, filming on a trip.
Yep.
Sometimes I do a portage 5 times because I'm filming. I got to go back. I got to do this. I got to set up a shot. And a lot of times people are like, really? Like, can we just go? But it's like, oh, hang on, look at this. And,
Exactly.
so I can do whatever I want. And it's great. It's a luxury, I think.
Yeah, I find the same thing too. When I'm out there by myself on a solo trip, it's actually easier to shoot video. You're not obstructing or you're not obscuring anybody else that's in a party with you, unless somebody else is shooting as well, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it does kind of make the shooting aspect a lot easier. And being paddling along at your own pace is a nice thing too. You want to stop for a break for whatever reason.
Yeah.
You've got that ability, right?
Yeah.
So that's great. So now what about the winter camping aspect? You like to winter camp yourself? Obviously, you've built a couple tents, or 3 tents, but we'll get into that in a bit too, because that's very intriguing as well. So
I hate winter.
You woun't know it.
I know people are like, what? I'm like, no, I hate the snow. I hate the cold. I hate the winter. But I hate the winter in Niagara. Like where I used to live, in a lot of places, you get winter, it's freezing cold outside, but you don't have any snow. That's part of why I moved up here, because winter is fun in the north, right? You can, do things. You can snowshoe and go skating and go skiing and go winter camping, and you can't do that kind of stuff. There's just cold. That's it, right? So in that aspect, I like it. I love camping. That's my passion, and going out exploring. So I've made do with, we have 5, sometimes 6 months of this. So if I want to keep going camping, then I have to winter camp. So in order to do that, I built myself a hot tent, and then another one, and then another one.
Yeah, and another one. It's amazing how you got all your furniture out of the way to do that. Watching the videos, all 3 of them, and it's like, where'd all their furniture go?
Yeah, I moved everything out, and it still wasn't quite enough room, but I managed. So, I think I don't know if I mentioned to you, my legs were more sore than they've been on any trip I've done the entire year. I could barely walk the next day from just squatting and
up and down.
Yeah, moving the material, spreading it out this side. It took me an entire day to cut 4 panels out, right?
Wow.
Nuts.
Incredible. I really enjoyed watching that whole series, though, watching how you made that. I think I've mentioned it to you a few times before that. Kudos to you, man. That's awesome that you can actually build something like that. And
I actually got 2 emails yesterday from 2 different people. One of them is making a teepee hot tent, and the other one is making a tent very similar to the one that I just made from watching my videos and stuff. So really cool to see that. I love it when people send me these emails and show me these pictures and say, look at what I'm doing. Like, I got the canvas you got, but I'm going to make it like this. And, it's awesome. It's so rewarding.
Mm-hmm. Just want to say to everybody that's in the chat, we're doing quite well tonight. We have about 45 participants.
Wow.
If anybody has a question for Christina, just put a letter, capital letter Q, so I know it's actually a question, into the chat, and then type your chat or your question through, and I'll try to pop it up on screen, and I'm sure Christina would be happy to answer.
Absolutely.
All good.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for coming by.
Yeah, for sure. So you've obviously done a lot of canoe trips. You've done a lot of winter camping trips. What's your crown and glory? What was your your crown and glory moment on a trip? Oh, gotcha.
Just one?
Okay, you know what? We got time. You can throw a couple at us.
I got it. Well, favorite moment was probably, see, everything's backwards, so sorry, guys. But this guy right here, I know you can't see him very well, but it's a bull moose. And that's from my 5-day solo in a kiosk. Started at kiosk. And I was really upset because I had been trying to do single carries, and it's not something that I'm ever going to be able to do, I don't think, and I've accepted that. But this day, I was so grateful because I went to take the pack over, and when I came back, I heard something, and I grabbed my camera, which is actually my phone, and got it set up, and I was like, there's something here. And then I walked around the corner and I started recording, and there was a giant bull moose. It was so beautiful. And it stood there for a while, and he looked over and he let me take a little video of him, and then he kind of trotted off. And that was just magical. I don't see a lot of wildlife, but I had actually seen 2 moose the day before on North Teep. North Teep is the trip, not Kiosk. And it was like 3 moose in 2 days. And I was just like, wow, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And probably my greatest moment so far was the end of my 5-day solo. My very first 5-day solo that I did was in 2017. It was from Kiosk. I did Kiosk, Maple, Big Thunder, Club. It was a really good loop. It was very hard. It rained for a lot of the times. I was actually stuck waiting for lightning and thunder to stop, like on a portage for an hour and a half. It was a really tough trip, but I had done a 5-day backcountry trip, my very first trip. And so my goal had been not just to go out for one night to the Massasauga, not that there's anything wrong with that. I love doing that too. I love all kinds of camping trips, but I really, really wanted to get into the backcountry and do portages and, really trip, right? Not just, okay, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go in there and then I'm going to come back out, right? I wanted to do this big, and I was like, I'm never going to be able to do that. And I did it. And that was huge for me. That just said wow, okay, now where can I go? Now I can do all this stuff. It was a really great moment for me. I actually cried when I made the video. But it was very emotional for me because, people tell you can't do things. They look at you funny. People think you're crazy, and
that's because they've never done it.
Yeah. That's
because they've never experienced it, right? And anybody that hasn't should at least try it once. Either you're going to love it, and hopefully they'll love it, or sometimes they might hate it, right?
Yeah.
And they're the ones that belong in a Holiday Inn in Toronto, so.
Nothing wrong with that either. We all like our own things, right? But this is my thing, and I had always wanted to do that again, and just the freedom of knowing that I could just go and do a backcountry trip now whenever I wanted to, and go to all these places, and it just opened so many doors for me, and it was great. Again, not that I can't go with anybody else or I'm against that, but it's just the freedom is just wonderful. To be able to just get up and go whenever you want. And
so we have a couple of questions coming in. A couple of them are actually sort of questions that I had on the itinerary. So we'll touch on one because it was actually my next one. Dan Mailot's asking, what's the worst trip you ever did and why? And my question was going to be on the flip side. What's the worst experience you've ever had on a trip?
I got lost going to the Privy at 3:00 in the morning. I wasn't actually not even on a solo trip. I went with the girl from my level 1 kayaking class. And I went to kind of show her some skills and stuff like that because she didn't feel like she was, anyways, long story. Sorry, side note. I was on a kayaking trip actually at the Massasauga, very simple just paddle into the site. And I have colitis, some of you know. So I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I really had to go to the bathroom, and I was half asleep. I was disoriented. I had asked the girl that was with me to wear her whistle. I always wear a whistle around my neck, especially at night when I'm sleeping, so that I always have it, in case I need to signal or something happens. And I usually always take my phone with me, just for light even, and, whatever. So off I went to the privy, and this campsite, the privy, was just one of those that was like way, way back in the forest. And I finished doing my thing and I went to leave and I walked the wrong direction and I was lost for an hour. At 3 o'clock in the morning, I could not find my way back. And then I ended up using the moon. I remembered where the moon was because I was taking pictures of my tent, and I remembered where it was in accordance to where the campsite was, and I found my way back. But it was really scary, and it's not life-threatening or anything like that, but I haven't really had that many issues, like just, there's been a couple missing portages, Temagami is going to have that. But not really too much else bad has really happened to me. I guess I'm lucky. I don't know.
And especially in the dark for somebody that has a fear of the dark, right? So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just the compound, right?
Yeah, I think that the hard trips, the challenging ones, are the ones that really make the best stories. So I like them all. I like the challenge. I like the toughness. And, it rained for 3 days on this trip or whatever, but I made it, and I was okay. So.
Well, now another question that was on the itinerary, and it's all good because it's all following right through with what we've got going on. Martin from Pine Martin is asking, what are some of your bucket list canoe camping destinations?
Hi, Martin. Thanks for the question. I am hoping to tackle this one next year. I don't know yet. I have to see about time off and stuff and logistics, but I really want to do the trip to Cabin Falls, to Happen Andreas, up the South Lady Evelyn River. That whole area is supposed to be extremely difficult, and I want to do it solo. So that's a big one for me. I've got Maple Mountain on the list. A couple other places in Temagami, Twinkle Lake Loop for sure. I really, really want to get to Solis. Sorry. I really want to get to Solis while Solis is still untouched. Hopefully I can do that.
Yeah.
There's so many places, people are like, oh, you need to go out to Superior and you need to go out to this place. And, those places are great. I want to get there too, but I live in Muskoka. I'm like 3 hours from Temagami. I'm so close to all of these places. And for right now, it just doesn't make sense for me to drive 12 hours to go to, Sleeping Giant or whatever. And, I want to do a trip there too, but, I still have so many places to go, like so close by. I don't see why I shouldn't just explore as much as I can.
Well, you know what? You've done what, like 20 some odd trips in Temagami area in the last
I haven't counted, but I think it's
quite
probably, it's got to be around there. I've done a lot. I've done pretty much all of my summer, like all my canoe trips this year have been there. I think I've only done one or two that were other places. So I even did a kayak trip in Temagami in May.
Back, many years ago, some of my earlier days while I was, a younger canoeer or canoeist, Hap Wilson's book on the Temagami region was like my Bible.
Yeah.
I've done so many of them trips. You mentioned the Maple Mountain Loop. If you start at Mowat Landing and do like the whole Maple Mountain, Lady Evelyn Mowat Landing, Lady Evelyn up to the Maple Mountain area, and then all the way around to the Montreal River and down, it's a beautiful trip, except for that 2,500 meter portage right in the middle of the thing, right?
I think that's the worst day of my life portage. I think that's what Tierney calls it. I'm not sure if that's the one, but I think that's the one.
Yeah, for sure.
I've heard stories, but, I think, there's tough portages out there. I just think if you have time, you can. That's what I said. It's about the time, right? The logistics, that I have the time available to do a trip like that, because it's not going to be a quick trip for me. It's going to be it's going to take some time. There's those portages are hard, and as long as you spread stuff out, I think it's doable. So
yeah. Here's an interesting question, Christina. John and Lene Abnett are asking, what childhood moment or person left an impression on you that is a positive influence on your love of the outdoors?
That would be my dad, mostly. When we were little, probably about 4 or 5 years old, we started going up north, as we call it here in Niagara. I know there's listeners from all over the place, or watchers, I guess you call them here. But we started going up north to a place called Green Lake, which is near Algonquin, and it was a cottage. It was little kid, right? But we would go there and, we rent the speedboat. And there was no canoeing or anything like that. But my parents would go fishing, and my mom didn't really like the boat. So my dad would drop her off on the shore, and I'd play in the rocks, on the big boulders and stuff. And I'd, pretend it was like a little house and a little dining room. And, I loved it. I loved the smell, and it was just so magical there. Like, even when I was so little, I think we went 3 or 4 times when I was a kid. And then I think when I turned around 7 or 8, we started going to Florida. And that was the new thing. So, but I never forgot the north and going up there, and just the air, the smell, and the rocks and the trees. And I just loved it. I just felt like I was home when I was there.
Yeah, it's funny, and you say going up north because I too am from St. Catharines.
Yes,
originally, right?
So,
and I think we almost kind of grew up around the same neighborhood too. Now, mind you, now you're living in an area I would love to live in.
Yeah.
But the trek up north. So you've got 3 hours lead on me.
Yeah.
So if you start running now, I'll try and catch up to you in Temagami. How's that? You know what? The best part is about tonight so far is Christina and we've kind of put together an itinerary for tonight's show, some questions. And I might as well just toss it to the side right now because I'm seeing some really cool questions coming in. So I don't mind taking questions from our participants. Here's one from Brian J. Somebody I was supposed to have met at the symposium, but he obviously met you.
Yes.
And do you find waterfall, natural white noise camping more soothing, or do you prefer quiet sites?
I prefer quiet sites. Yeah. I always camped. Oh gosh, I knew this was going to happen. I've been to so many places in Temagami. Sometimes I just I can't remember the names of the lakes, but it was the Obabaca Loop, Naismith, probably the Naismith Creek, or along the Obabaca River. The campsite was literally, my tent was literally like 20 feet from the waterfalls, and it was so loud. First of all, when I was filming, I was like, "Hi, everybody," because I had to yell because you couldn't. It was so loud, the shushing, and at nighttime I had to wear earplugs because I was hearing other sounds. Right, like I like to hear the quiet when I go to sleep because, again, I'm afraid of the dark. Right, so the quiet is like, okay, nothing's going on, and if something makes a snap or a sound, I'm like, what was that? Right, like I hear it right away. But when the waterfalls were going, they make funny sounds. Like there was like a branch stuck in it, it kind of makes like a lapping sound. And it sounded like something was outside of my tent the whole time. So I had to put earplugs in. So yeah, quiet. I love the quiet.
I too, yeah. The noise constantly going in the background. I have tinnitus in one ear and all I hear is hissing all the time anyway. So to get away from that is really,
I had
really
that at
cool.
the symposium.
Yep.
I was all like off balance on that day. I was trying to talk to people and my ear was going shh.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So now watching a lot of your recent videos, I see that you really do love this this Temagami area, like the whole region. There's a lot going on right now up there with, the whole Save Solace premise. I know you're very passionate about it. It was quite obvious in one of your videos where you actually got very emotional, and there's nothing wrong with that. If people knew what's at risk up there, tell us a little bit about us. I'm actually going to have friends at Temagami on, hopefully within the next few episodes, so we could discuss it more. But what's your take on the whole situation there?
Well, the Solus Wildlands is an area about 10,000 hectares, and it's virgin forest. It's untouched except for pretty much canoe trippers going through, and it's had like pretty much no human impact other than that. So what they're doing is they're putting in a 26-kilometer road right through the middle of it, and yeah, it hits my heart.
Yeah.
I got a lot of comments on that video. It was really hard for me to post that video. I showed it. I made the mistake of showing it to Tierney, who is the vice president of the Friends of Temagami. For those of you who don't know, the Friends of Temagami is a 100% volunteer based organization. It's a nonprofit, and their main goal is to promote, protect, and preserve the Temagami area. And so I showed her the video just when all of this was just kind of starting to to come about, when they found out that the road was really starting to get built and moving along so quickly. And she said, post it. And I was like, I'm crying on this video. But I got a lot of good feedback. There's 14 thumbs down on my video. I'm not sure why, but that's fine. I know that not everybody's going to love everything, but I was very dramatic because it's a very emotional subject for me. I love Temagami. I love everything about it. It's such a beautiful place, and it is, mostly untouched. Most of the trips that I've done there, I don't see a soul. Never. Mm-hmm. I don't see anybody. And it's like being back in the world when nothing was here. And to me, it feels like it's the way that nature's supposed to be. And having them put a road in there is just it's just something that really hurts my heart, and it gets me in the feels. And I make her cry the first 15.
See, people, it really is. If none of you are familiar with it, go on, check out the website, Friends of Temagami. There's a whole write-up on it. There's also a petition on there that you can sign, which they're trying everything they can right now, short of tying themselves to bulldozers. The whole Solus area, I believe, is one of the largest old-growth white pine areas in Ontario. Is it not?
I believe it's in the world, actually.
Yeah, in the world. And what the threat is all these old-growth pines are going to be turning into furniture. Yeah. You know what? There's other ways they could harvest. So, if we could try and make an impact for them not to make an impact, that would be great. Check out Friends of Temagami and tune in. Hopefully, I'm shooting for on the 17th of this month that I might have PJ and Tierney on to discuss a little further what's going on there. So
that's great.
Yeah. Let's see here. Recently, one of my favorite videos I watched, and this is because I've been in the area, and right there. I wanted to ask you met Alex Mathias, who is one of the elders in the area, and tell us about him. In the video, he's so soft spoken and so knowledgeable.
He is all of that in a bag of chips. Alex Mathias is a native elder. He lives on Ababaka Lake, and he knows all the things. He's just such a kind, generous person. He's living out there, and he's trying to do what we all want to do. Live out there, live off the land, and he's just a really good person. He has an event that he holds every year called the Changing of the Seasons Festival, which I was lucky enough to be able to attend this year. And just the people that are there, some of them have been in the blockades 30 years ago that were on Wakimaka, and again, to save the forest. He's done so much for the Temagami region, protecting the forest and the trees, and he just knows so many things. You could just sit and listen to him all day long, and you would never get bored. Like, the stories are just unbelievable,
Many years of wisdom there and stuff that's been passed on to him.
Yeah. And just like, the loons, right? I went to see him on the second day of my Ababaka Loop trip, and it was an amazing trip. But on day 2, I got up and I paddled to his place and introduced myself and chatted with him for a bit, brought him some goodies, and he showed me his collection of arrowheads, which were like unbelievable. And, I said, I want to film all this. I want people to see this. Like, I want them to know that like all this stuff really exists. And, this place is so important. And so he let me film quite a bit of it, and we talked for quite a bit. And I think I've seen him 3 or 4 times since then. So
I was going to say, you've met him on a couple of occasions, right?
Yeah. So I've been very fortunate to I think I'm very fortunate to be able to call him my friend now. And if you get a chance to get out there and stop by and meet him. I went with my friend Sue as well. We did Labor Day. I generally don't like to go back to places that I've already been, but I didn't really explore Obabaka because I did the loop. I was only there. I saw Alex, for a couple hours, and then I headed off to Wakimaka. So I said, you know what, let's go for your birthday, Sue. And we went for Labor Day, and we actually spent an entire day with Alex. He took us around, showed us a bunch of pictographs, and just like told us a bunch of stories. And then he invited us back to his place for a fish fry. We ended up staying there. It was awesome. It was just great. And then when we went to leave, he dressed up in his headdress and his outfit there. That's where that picture is actually from. So really, really cool.
Want to point that out again? I think I got you a little bigger screen there so everybody could see that. That's awesome. So is he available for drop-ins, or did you actually have to make plans to go see him? Did he know you were arriving?
He knew I was arriving through some friends from the Friends of Temagami. I guess, like it's kind of a little, I don't know, like I'm not going to say, hey, go by there, because I don't, it's not my place to say, but I know on the older Jeff's map, it actually has his phone number and says, if you want a tour, get in contact with Alex and whatnot, and make arrangements. So I think he's very proud to take people around and show them, his area and stuff like that, and obviously to give something back, right? So what kind of gifts did you bring him? Any special treats? I brought him some goodies. I heard he had a sweet tooth, so I brought him some candies and stuff like that, and chocolate and stuff.
Awesome. Okay, so to the next thing here. We got a question here from Lucho. He's asking, as we gain more experience camping, we're able to gain better knowledge of the gear we bring and switch one piece out for another. What's your most significant gear selection or inclusion?
My Marmot, I think it's called the Teton sleeping bag. It's rated for -40 extreme, I believe. That's not the actual base rating, but it's extreme -40. I use it all year. All year, you want to be snug and cozy, do you? In the hot tent.
Yeah.
I get very, very cold at night, and when I did my first trip, 2002, I bought these awesome Jack Wolfskin sleeping bags, and they were rated -5. And I didn't know that sleeping bags lose their rating, I guess. So I don't know if you know this. You look like maybe not, or you're reading something.
Oh yeah, I'm just trying to catch up on questions. I'm sorry.
So they actually lose their rating over time, and so I did a trip one year about Thanksgiving. It was Thanksgiving weekend, Canadian Thanksgiving, which is October for the Americans watching, and it got down to -5, and it was like when you rolled over in the tent, the condensation kind of tinkled down the side of the tent because it was ice, and I was like, I'm never ever ever camping after Thanksgiving again. And it was because I was freezing cold. I had everything that I brought on in my sleeping bag, but the sleeping bags had lost their rating. And so I got this -40 Marmot bag, and I love it, and I'm warm at night now, and it makes things a lot better. Being cold is something that I hate, so that piece of gear was huge for me. And it's actually lighter than my -9 bag, believe it or not. So
All right.
I almost switched it out this summer, and I was like, no, this bag's lighter. Why would I take the other one? So
That's what you get when you pay the big bucks for the good gear, right?
yeah, exactly. It does cost a lot, but you know what? It's worth it.
Let's see here. Another one here, I think. Yeah, sorry. Sometimes I have to veer off and start reading some questions and what's in the chat there. But I am listening most of the time. How do you feel about the journey that you've been on over the past few years, from starting your blog about the car camping, now to doing presentations, long solo trips, and having a huge following?
Oh, it's huge. Thank you. I feel pretty good. Basically, the part I left out when you had asked about the solo camping, because it's how I started getting back into backcountry, really, was the woods contest. But when I didn't win the contest, I decided to start my blog. And that was started very shortly after the Woods Canada contest in 2015. And the blog, what it did was it held me accountable to go on all of these trips and to like keep going on all these trips. And they just have gotten harder naturally. When I started the blog, I said, I found a passion, and it's taken me almost my whole entire life to find something that I really, really love to do and that I wanted to do all the time. And so I said, you know what, I'm gonna follow my passion, and I'm gonna do what I love to do. I love writing. I love doing the videos. I love going on adventures. I'm just gonna do it all. And I'm gonna express myself, and whatever happens, happens. However it goes from there, it goes. And this is how it's played out. And I enjoy everything about it. I love going to the shows. I love talking to people. I love sharing my adventures. I never claim to be an expert because I'm not. But I just like to share what I do with people. And, you know, I see some really beautiful places. And, you know, there are a lot of people that I know of that follow my channel, especially that they can't go. They can't, for some reason, physical or, you know, whichever, they can't go. And they watch my videos because they miss that part of their life, or, you know, they want to see these places, but they can't get there. And that touches me. It makes me feel really good that, you know, I'm helping people to get out there and see places that they might not be able to.
Yeah, and that kind of leads us into like the one question that you and I were discussing before. The more popular you're becoming on YouTube, I believe you're around 4,600 subscribers, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
As your journey's going along, it seems to be opening a lot of doors for you. Like you've got partnerships with H2O Canoes.
Yeah. Frontenac Outfitters is actually who I'm an ambassador for. Zach and I did the instructor kayaking instructor course over at Ontario Sea Kayak Center together, and I was in need of a canoe this spring, and I reached out to a few people, and Zach was generous enough to say, hey, you know what? They're the biggest, I believe they're the biggest dealer of H2O canoes in, I don't know if it's Ontario or Canada, but I think it's Ontario. And they have tons of them. And, you know, I had some serious stipulations, right? Like I needed it to be, I didn't want it to be more than 30 pounds. And it had to be really strong and tough. And he said, I've got the perfect canoe for you. I think we should put you in an H2O. And he contacted Jeff, who was the owner of H2O. And he said, let's do it. Let's get her done. So I went there, drove there one day and picked up the boat, and never looked back. It's a fabulous canoe. I have the ProLite 14.6. It's made of Niagara basalt, which I found out by some research is actually volcanic rock.
Is that right?
Yeah. And it's really strong. I am actually going to be, I still have it, but I'm going to be returning it at some point when I can meet up with Zach. And they're going to be providing me with a different H2O canoe in the spring. They're working on, I believe, a 15-foot prospector. that they
Wow.
might be having me test out, and they want me to possibly switch sometime too during the season and try a different canoe. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's exciting to be able to test out new gear. So that's really cool. And in addition to that, I am sponsored by Keen Canada. I've been with them since the very start. Pretty much, I think it was 2015 when my Solomons that I had for like 10 years kicked out, and I had just done a course and everybody was wearing Keens, and I said, like, how are those? Are they great? Like, and I'm like, oh my, everybody just said so many good things about these shoes. So I sent them an email and I just said, I've got these Solomons, they're kind of dead. Like, can you help me out? And they did. And I've been with them ever since. And I love pretty much every pair of Keens that I own, I think.
Wow. So the new canoe, is it going to be Camper Christina green?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think that there's being one custom made for me this year.
Right.
But we'll see. We'll see what's in the mix. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. So Jeff is a very busy guy. And I don't know. We'll see. But I would love it to be Camper Christina.
Yeah. So when we're talking about opening doors too, I know you were a guest speaker at the Ontario Backcountry Canoe Symposium back in 2017.
It was my very first presentation.
Nervous?
David Bain saw a little light in my eye and he said, come on and speak. And I literally stood there and read right off the paper. I talked about my very first trip ever. And because it was so long ago, I didn't really like back then. It wasn't like now where you have like pictures of everything and video clips. And, I had maybe a handful of photos. So I kind of had to doctor some photos and make them interesting. And but it was really fun. I actually spoke with Jim Bear. That's where I met Jim Bear.
Great guy.
He was speaking. He's a great guy.
Yep.
He was speaking that day as well. And it was before they announced that he went alone, but he had finished.
Right.
So it was kind of cool because we had this great conversation, right? Like I'm talking to Jim Baird and I'm like, this is so cool, right? And he's like, I love what you do. Like you have social media and you this and this and this. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like you get paid for what you do, right? Like you work for a magazine and, and he's like, oh, I think I did it wrong. I think I should have done it like you. And I'm like, no. Right? Like it was really funny to just see the different perspective, but great guy. We've been friends ever since, but sorry, back to the subject. Yeah. I spoke there, and then 2018, I spoke at the Outdoor Adventure Show in Toronto, which was awesome. It was standing room only. It was so overwhelming to have so many people come out and see me. And I spoke there again last year, as well as the Quiet Water Symposium, which is now called the Quiet Adventure Symposium, I believe. Unfortunately, I missed the deadline for them, but I am going to be speaking. Not 100% confirmed, pretty much like, let's say 99% confirmed. I'm going to be speaking at Canoehound this year. So I'm really excited about that. I just got my invite last Friday, and I just sent them back the confirmation saying I accept. So it's pretty much a done deal, I think. And I think I'm also going to be at the Ottawa Adventure Show if it happens. They canceled last year because the person who organizes it was sick. And as long as the vendors are in for it, then I'll be speaking there. And Family Day weekend, I will be at Mule Lake at Winter in the Wild, which I do every year. And last year I had the teepee and as I call it now, the baby hot tent, the solo backcountry tent. And this year I'll be setting up the monster, my 10 by 13.
Right.
Yeah. So sorry guys, I seem like I'm backwards. It's because the camera's flipped. So it's okay.
That's excellent. Well, you know what? I'm hoping to go to Canoehound this year, and I really do hope I can actually get out there and see your presentation.
You want to share a ride? I'm looking for.
Hey, you know what? You never know. I think I'm heading up there maybe with a couple of the guys, some kid products. So I don't know what the deal is, but I'm doing my darndest to get out there this year.
I love those guys. It's only a 14-hour drive, so.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Only 14 hours. That's a few leg stretches on the way for sure, right?
You know what? It's the week after a very big birthday for me, and I said, you know what? I gotta go. I gotta go this year. I just gotta go. I've heard about it. People keep asking me to come, and so I'm gonna give her. But my favorite show is still the Toronto Outdoor Adventure Show. I love that place. But
Yeah, I love that show as well. So now you did a couple point ups like this to a couple of your babies.
yeah.
Everybody knows. Well, I'm sure most people in the chat here know that you have constructed a couple of, well, 3 different winter tents.
Yeah.
Tell us about the whole adventure, right from the first one to your newest. You don't have to tell us all the details, but they're awesome.
Somehow we started talking about winter camping, and I never really finished that story. Sorry, I kind of meander a little bit. But my mother, actually, 65 years old, wanted to see Algonquin in the winter. And I was like, what? Like, but she's from Germany, and she said, I want to see with the snow. And, Niagara doesn't get, they get the snow a little bit, but it's not like up north. And so I said, okay. So we rented a yurt. And I was so stoked because there was a yurt available on the water, right? And I'm like, wow, right? Okay, winter, you don't want to camp on the water. It's not good. But I didn't know any better. And so, we camped. I brought my gravity chairs and I set up a tarp and we're sitting out there by the fire. And like by 6 o'clock, we're in the yurt. It was so cold. The wind was coming off the lake. And it actually froze overnight. But that was my very first winter camping experience. And I met a bunch of people on social media who were all going up for New Year's, as they call it, Mew Year's. Mew Lake is a campground in Algonquin Park, for those of you who don't know. And they're open in the winter. And a lot of people go there to camp all different kinds of ways. They have yurts, and a lot of people bring hot tents. Some people cold tents. Some people, I have a couple videos on all the different ways that people camp there. But I brought a summer tent, and I got a hydro site, and I put a space heater in it, and I was toasty warm. But I wanted to build a hot tent. I didn't want to build a hot tent. I wanted to have a hot tent. As I mentioned before, I hate the snow. I hate the cold. And I needed to camp. It was winter, and I'm Camper Christina. I can't be Hiker Christina or Snowshoeing Christina. I'm Camper Christina. So I'm like, well, if I'm going to post a blog post every single week for 3 years or something, whatever I did, and not miss one, I have to start camping in the winter. So I saw this guy on Facebook, and he had made a teepee. He was native. And he had made a teepee with like the actual, like went out into the forest and got like the fallen trees. And he used a tarp, and he wrapped this tarp around, set up the trees, like, teepee style, the trees, the logs. And he wrapped a big, huge tarp around it, and he had a fire inside. And I'm like, I can do this. Why can't I do that? Right. So I built my first hot tent was a teepee. It has 9 steel poles. The weight is ridiculous, but it has the painter's drop cloth, which is what I'm still using for the new hot tent. And I made it, and at first it was supposed to have a fire in it, but it's extremely hard to control smoke in a teepee. If you ever tried it, you will know. But I had a lot of suggestions. It would be on the right side of your screen, the one that's lit up. It's kind of nighttime-ish, is the teepee. So it's 9 steel poles and a wooden ring in the top that kind of keeps it together. It's almost like an umbrella type of a thing. And then the canvas just gets wrapped around it. And inside I had a stove from Princess Auto, which I heard they're on sale right now for $70 or something. Not the best stove in the world, but it kept me warm for a while. And it took me a very long time to sleep in it. But the next year I realized that I wasn't going to be able to solo backcountry with it. And as I've said before, backcountry is my passion. That's my heart, right? I car camp and stuff, and it's fun in the winter, but I don't want to be around people when I'm out camping. I want to see animals and hear quiet. And so that's when I built the second tent in 2017. Much easier, only 1 package of painter's drop cloth. I think the costs are around $150. Plus the waterproofing and fireproofing, which is over $100. That's the expensive part. 1 single pole in the middle. I think it weighs 15 pounds, the whole tent. Stove is from Lure of the North. It's a Nyko Alaskan Junior, which weighs 15 pounds, I believe, as well. So 30 pounds for the whole kit and caboodle. Whereas the teepee hot tent came in at 101 pounds.
Wow.
I did try. I went, as we call, into the back country in Algonquin near Mew. I went with a friend of mine, and on the way out, I said, let me take the tent and the poles and the stove, and I want to see if I can pull this because I want to go on a solo trip, right? Like, this is my thing, right? I want to go. And so I strapped the sled to me, and I just stood there like the girl on Titanic. I had nothing. It was just like this, nothing. I didn't move. And I said, okay. And I did manage to pull it out, but my heart broke a little bit that day because I said, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this by myself. So that is why I made the second tent. And it's been amazing. I'm still using the tent. I will still be using the tent. I'm actually doing a solo Boxing Day trip I do every year with that tent. But I have friends, a couple anyways. And, Sue's been camping with me in the baby tent. It's 8.5 by 8.5. So it's okay, but I mean, it's not very big. And, to have a hot stove in there and then 2 people lying down, and that's pretty much it. You can't do anything else. So I decided this year that I was going to make a bigger tent to be able to have some of my friends come along when I want, or when I do family day weekend at Mule Lake, that I'm comfortable, and I have a foam floor like everybody else, and I got some room in there. People can come sit down and have a drink with me or chit chat, or it's not like, hi, you want to see my tent? Okay, bye. Like,
you invited me into your tent at the Canoe or at the Winter Camping Symposium.
Yeah,
and there was so much room.
I think I had 9 or 10 people in there at one point. And I was just like, wow, this is awesome. It's so big. It's really big. I wanted to make it 10 by 10. It's actually 10 by 14. And the 14 is the front. It's not the depth.
Here, I'll pull up your YouTube.
Yeah. Just because some people think it's the other way around. But I could only get 90-degree angled connectors for the poles. Like, people are like, oh, you should have made a short wall, you should have did this, and I just wanted to make it very simple. And I did, and it works exactly how I wanted to so far. I'm going to be taking it out actually this weekend with my friend Sue. It'll be her first time in it other than at the symposium, so I think she's pretty excited. Hopefully you might see her later. And it's got windows.
Awesome. Yeah, it's incredible. I apologize if I'm echoing everybody. I'm having a little bit of audio issues here. I apologize. Stopped? Maybe it did. Okay. We're gonna be doing the Canoehound Adventures giveaway in a few minutes, but had a couple of speed questions. So speed answers too.
I have to answer them fast.
Let's see. Dan Mailot asks, favorite band to listen to while you're out in the bush?
Hip.
Tragically Hip.
Go.
How Canadian is that? That's awesome.
Or Mumford. I really love Mumford and Sons too. I have a lot of their stuff on my phone.
Lucho is asking, what was the stove that you now bring?
I have the Nyko Alaskan Junior. Nyko Alaskan Junior.
Okay.
I'm missing a word in there. Alaskan Junior Trail Stove? Alaskan Junior. It's the Alaskan Junior Nyko. It's from Lure of the North. It's wonderful. Good question.
Dog or cat person?
Neither.
So we'll never see a dog on one of your trips?
No.
Great companions on a canoe trip.
There's a lot of controversy whether it's a solo or not if you have a dog with you. Not that it would matter to me either way, but I'm just away too much to, I don't know. I'm one of those people that I feel like I should be home if I have a dog, or it should come to work with me, or, like, I work a full-time job and then I go camping every weekend. It's just, I don't know. I just like taking care of me. I don't really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. So let's see here. We covered the bucket list. Yeah, we did. We got through the whole itinerary tonight with some great questions from a lot of our participants tonight. I think at this point now we're at 8:00 almost, and we will do the Canoehound giveaway that I do every week. And then what I'll do is I'll invite a couple of guests up onto panel.
Yay!
I believe Susan's in the house, right?
Sue.
Yeah, is that Susan Shepherd?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to put out the invitation for Susan if she would like to join panel. All you need to do is click and set up the link that I'm about to post. I'm going to try and get 2 people up at a time. If anybody has questions for Christina and you would like to ask, please do.
I just saw one I'd like to answer. My friend Sean from Paddling Adventures Radio.
Ah, yeah.
I've got his picture up there. I've done their show quite a few times. They're some good people.
Our guest next week on the show.
What?
Yes, Sean,
awesome.
Sean and Derek will be on because I believe they're coming up on celebrating their 200th episode of their podcast.
They have a great show. He asked my favorite fishing lure, which is the MEP spinner, because of Sean, because I always catch a fish with it no matter what.
That's awesome. Yeah, I like the MEP spinners too. And I like my rubber baits. They always work well for me. Okay, so as usual, every week I like to give away some stickers to our. They go great on your water bottles and things of that sort. Mama Bear's backpack sent me a picture of her mother with a nice sticker on her forehead. I don't know if you've seen that on the Facebook page, but I love getting them images from you. So as I do every week, I ask you to right now click the caps lock on your keyboard. I'm going to call out 2 letters, type them in, and I've got 2 numbers written on my clipboard where we will count down the list. So if you got your caps lock on, please type in the 2 letters CC for Camper Christina. Woohoo! Martin knew what the letters are going to be right off the hop. I called it.
Martin's cheating. He can't win.
I know,
He's like
right?
part of the show. Isn't he like the mediator or corresponder, communications director or something like that?
He's been one of my moderators here on the live stream since pretty much I started from the first time we met him. He's a great guy, and I finally got to meet him actually in person at the symposium as well. So that was incredible. It's always cool to meet people that follow you. Just from so we got a whole bunch of CCs that have populated. I'm just going to hold up the board so everybody could see the numbers I selected. Yep, there we go. Number 2 and number 11. So you have to go by what's on my screen. Number 2 is passion for hunting and fishing. That would be my good buddy Rocco. That's 2 weeks in a row he's won. I think he won last week too.
Way to go, Rocco.
And number 11, if I go down from there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Tina Deutsch.
Yeah.
Okay. So Tina. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just really quick going to post on the screen my email address. And if you could please send me an email with your mailing addresses, and I will get your stickers out by the week's end. And please do, when you get them, take a picture of whatever you stick them onto, and I would love to see a picture of that, and I'll get it up on my Facebook page for sure. That's a good thing. So I see we have Sue waiting down in the shadows in the green room.
Where's Sean? Is he coming?
Who?
Sean. Paddling Adventures Radio.
Yeah, I'm trying. Sorry. Sean, if you'd like to jump onto the stream as well, we'll get Sean Rowley from Paddling Adventure Radio. If you'd like to join in, be a good test run for you. And let's welcome to the stream. My mouse is acting up on me here. Hello, Sue.
Hey.
How you doing tonight?
Woo, sit back.
Hey. Hi.
So how about, who wants to introduce Sue?
You can introduce her. Do you want me to introduce her?
I can, but nobody knows her better on this screen than you do.
Ooh, I need to there's lights in the background everywhere here.
That's what I call my camping wife, even though she's married and I'm not a lesbian. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Because I love camping with Sue. We don't do too many trips together, but we do as many as we can, and we always have a good time. And she's wearing my shirt, I think.
There we go.
Girl.
There we go. And just for the record, people, in the description below, if anybody's looking for some Camper Christina merch, there is a link in the description below where you can actually get some of these real cool shirts. And she got all kinds of neat swag in there.
It's not actually Camper Christina shirts, right? Because you can get the shirt. You don't even have to get my logo on it if you just want the saying. There's 6 different sayings right now.
True.
Portage like a girl. I'd say portage now because that's how Alex Mathias said it. The winter camping is for cool people, which is the other new logo. Paddle till your arms fall off. Dirty, bug bitten, and exhausted. And which one am I missing, Sue? Portage, the struggle is real.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. And there's 17 different kinds of garments. There's a lot of 90% of them are dry wicking, antimicrobial, so they don't smell. They're actually stuff you can wear in the backcountry, and you can choose your logo, and you can choose the saying, and it's pretty neat. So.
And a little less typical. Most people use Teesprings for these type of things.
Yeah, and they get cotton shirts, and you wear them to the grocery store, right? Like the shirt I'm wearing is it's dry wicking, antimicrobial. I wear this stuff out in the backcountry. It wicks the sweat away from you. It's good stuff. I mean, there's cotton shirts too, but there's a lot of dry wicking stuff. So.
And what does your shirt say there? Let's see here.
This one. Oh, that one.
Winter camping is for cool people. Love the backcountry. And now that hashtag, is that a hashtag you pretty much started up?
Yeah. Well, there's a whole thing about the love the backcountry, and the backcountry. I think it's ceased now, but there was a company called backcountry.com that was suing people for.
Yeah. Heard a lot about that on Paddling Adventure Radio. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a little bit crazy. Yeah, Sean's been talking about it a lot on his show.
Yeah.
Is that your cat meowing?
Yeah, he's wandering around.
So, Sue, tell us a little bit about Christina, and then you can tell us a bit about yourself. You obviously camp with her quite a bit, and you're good friends with her.
Yeah, we actually became friends. Oh, geez, 3 years ago.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just started chatting online, and then I met her in person a couple of times, and we're like, hey, we kind of hit it off, so let's go camping together, and it went well, and I know she's a little worried the first time we went. She's like, I don't know, this is a new person. Will we get along? But we both just kind of go and do our thing, and we don't have to, ask someone to do a chore. We kind of do our own chores, and we kind of mesh and go together, and she's pretty easy going to camp with. I tolerate the stop filming. I'm rolling.
Oh, actually, did she not use your services when she was showing off the new tent there? You were recording that. Was that you?
Not the new one. No, I had the old. I've seen the new one only at the winter show.
Oh, okay.
No,
and that's where I met you, actually. So, and we have another. Somebody wants to jump in here for a quick question. Nate Muskoka, how you doing? Good to see you on the show.
How are you?
Hey, good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Okay. Quick question because this is a small portion. I've got too many paddles.
Too many paddles.
You might like this. I just found online a couple Grassmere paddles, which was a company that operated between here and Huntsville and Algonquin Park in the 60s.
Yeah. That's cool.
There they all go. Anyways,
what?
Now, because the first time that I might go hot tenting could be with Martin.
Nice.
And apparently he's the sleep all night and get cold kind of guy.
I heard that a couple weeks ago.
So when you're managing your stove overnight, do you set yourself an alarm or do you just wake up when you're cold?
I wake up automatically. I wake up exactly 3 hours from Sue. I'll tell you, Sue.
Yep.
she's gone, right? I get
The
up,
secret
I
is
go to
out.
the bathroom, I put wood in the fire,
I'll never get up.
like sleeping away. But yeah, every 3 hours, my stove, I can stock it as full as I can get it, and 3 hours is the maximum, and then it's just like.
So you just
Getting
wake
cold.
up on your own and stoke it again, and then away you go back to sleep.
Yep. Now I do have a new, thanks to Sue. She found some new eco logs that Canadian Tire has. They're supposed to burn 8 to 10 hours in a wood stove.
Wow.
Now John Van Berriger, who is the Paddling Adventures Radio correspondent and also from the Outdoor Kind, he tried them when he was at Mew, and he said that they make a lot of ash. He had to empty the stove out quite a bit, but we're going to give it a go this weekend. I'm going to bring a couple of them and try them. They're only $6.99 for 4 of them, but the 4-pack weighs 20 pounds. So I don't know. We'll see. We're not going too far in this trip. It's like the first backcountry trip with the hot tent. So, and we're only doing a one-nighter, so we're not going in too far, but we're going to give them a try, and I'll report back on how they are. I had wet in the tent the last time, and it was ranging between 8 degrees and 27. When I put the dry wood in, it was like 30 degrees in there, and then wet wood. Oh, it was terrible. It's terrible.
Hey, I don't know if you've seen, but Martin put in the chat there. He says you don't have to sleep cold if you want to get up and feed the fire every few hours and have broken sleep. He's good
There
with
you
that.
go, Nate.
he's calling you the perfect winter camping buddy already.
Oh yeah. Step 1: learn how to operate the stove.
Yeah.
I can do that. Second question. So with your new tent and your newish stove, what length of sled do you use?
Not a newish stove.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, the stove I got when I made the other tent 2 years ago.
Okay.
Can't see, but I am actually sporting a brand new Whiskey Jack toboggan that I'm going to be using this weekend. I was using a Pelican sled from Canadian Tire. Nothing wrong with that. It's a homemade sled, but it's only 5 feet, and the poles are 6 feet. They're telescopic, so there's 2 6-foot poles that go into each other to make a 10-foot pole, but they're still 6 feet. And I didn't want to have them sticking out on the sled, so I was either going to A, make one, or B, get one. And I had a good chat with John, who's the owner of Whiskey Jack, and I've got a toboggan, so I'm going to test the sucker out, and I can't wait to try it. I hear they're amazing, so if anyone has one or has tried one, let me know what it's like. But I'll be reporting back on that too.
So whereabouts are you heading, Christina? You said you're heading up this weekend?
I don't usually tell until after the trip, just because, I don't want paparazzi and
North. You're a big YouTuber when people are hiding in the bushes with their cameras, right?
All right.
Well,
I've
that's
actually met people out in the backcountry, and they've been like, "Hey, I know you." I'm like, "No, you don't."
Yeah. Me with my small channel, I had that first experience this year at up in Algonquin there. That was pretty cool. Like, the guy says, "Hey, I seen one of your videos one time." I said, "Thank you."
That's
All your friends.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, if anybody else would like to jump into the chat here, please do feel free there. We'll see you in the background. Just got to make sure when you do pop in to shut your volume off on your YouTube feed. Just hit the mute button, but you can leave the StreamYard feed with volume going so you could actually hear what's going on. Sue, what's your favorite adventure that you've been on with Christina?
Do I have to pick one?
I know you have 2. I bet you I can tell you which ones they are too.
2. What are your 2 favorite?
Definitely this past Labor Day weekend, we went up to Temagami.
Oh, never mind.
What? Never mind.
No, I forgot about that one.
Oh, so 3? They've all been fun. I don't know. It's hard to pick just one.
We didn't die.
Yeah.
We didn't die was good.
We didn't die was really good. That was fun though. That was a lot of fun.
except for the throwing.
Hard, but it was fun.
No, that's all right.
There's
No,
no
you know what?
story.
I like you, Nate, have never tried hot tenting before, right? So,
Pardon?
I've never tried hot tenting. I just
It is actually lovely. I need to convince my husband to let us buy a hot tent soon.
Yeah,
I tell her to make one, but
I've come to terms with the fact that I'm going to need to go with a friend because there's no way my partner is letting any more gear in the house unless gear leaves as well. So,
well, maybe if you got rid of a few of the paddles. You know.
Yeah, I sneak those in when when I can, but I'll have to shack up with Martin when I can this winter, and I have another couple of friends that have recently purchased a hot tent, so I'm gonna tag along when possible. But I'm super stoked because as I'm sure Christina knows, we got fresh blanket of snow here the last couple days. Hopefully it consolidates and stays, and we just keep getting more. So fingers crossed.
I had to go hiking this past weekend because I'm like, what am I going to do? The lake's partially frozen. I can't canoe. I can't pull my stuff in on a slide because there's no snow. So I was like,
Well, you can go paddling.
yeah.
Actually, we still got open water down here in Niagara, so if you want to go try paddling the recreational canal in Welland or something,
Yeah.
might be a fun. So, Christina, a question I had that I wanted to ask earlier too is I noticed you're a kayak paddler.
Yes.
Like even in your solo canoe.
Yeah.
Do you have a preference between solo and single paddle?
I prefer people.
Double or
Canadian because I use a double blade.
Well, Kevin Callan might have something to say about that, right?
Pardon?
Kevin Callan may have something to say about that. He's single stick, right?
Kevin's got stuff to say about everything. That's okay. You know what? Everybody's got their own opinion, and everybody can do their own thing. And I'm out there doing these, to me, crazy adventures. Still fairly new at soloing, and I did take the Canoe 1 to 4 certifications. I know how to use a canoe paddle. I find it really slow. I know it's probably supposed to be like that because it's canoeing, it's supposed to be relaxing, but for me, I just find I'm more comfortable using a double blade. Most of my training is double blading. I have a lot of kayak instruction in my background, and I can just control the boat better. I'm just safer. I feel safer with a kayak paddle in my hands, and that's just that's just the way I feel about it. I don't have anything against people who use canoe paddles. I think it's wonderful that you guys use canoe paddles, and I don't have any grudges with you, so I don't know why people have grudges with me, but whatever. To each his own. I don't, just go with the best for me.
Sorry, we got a little bit of turbulence going on there. I'm not quite sure where that's coming from, but we'll get over it. LN here is asking, what's been the biggest surprise since making your backcountry adventures public?
Oh, wow. Sue? Sue knows everything. I don't know.
Random people come up to you and be like, "Oh, hey, can I come in here?"
I get a lot of people that want to go camping with me that I don't know, which I don't know. I think that's a little weird, but I'm surprised. I'm always surprised when some of my videos get I have somebody or two people who thumbs down every single video. I have 2 thumbs down on almost all my videos, and I'm like. One of them was a Christmas greeting last year. I didn't even say Christmas because I know not everyone celebrates Christmas. So I said happy holidays, and I got thumbs down. I'm like, who thumbs down a Christmas greeting? That surprises me when that happens. I don't know. I'm the kind of person if you don't like something, then don't don't watch it. I don't really get the whole thing about. I don't know. Anyways, that's pretty much all I can think of. I don't know.
I want to apologize for all those comments.
Hello, Martin. How are you tonight?
Hi, Martin.
I want to apologize for coming down those videos. I don't know what I was thinking.
You're muffled, Martin.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there you go. Alles klar. Oh, now you're gone totally. You're fake.
Oh, you're muted there, Martin. You're muted.
Now better?
Yep, can hear you now.
When
Great,
you swear, they cut your mic off, just so you know. It's happened to me.
No, I just wanted to come in and apologize for thumbing down all those videos of yours, Christina. I don't know what I was thinking.
It was
No, it was
because they're so awesome, right? You didn't like it.
Yeah, that's right. I felt guilty. I was jealous and I
I
was
know.
embittered. And no, I'm a longtime fan of Christina's videos and her content. I think what she does is more than just educational and recreational. It's I think it's actually important. I'm someone who thinks that the future of backcountry camping and preserving the wilderness rests in the hands of women going out there. You know, for too long, this has been sort of a man's kind of world, and I really admire the women are going out there, and especially when someone who is a woman goes out alone. I think it demystifies things, and one of the things I have admired the most about Christina's content, and I've been watching it for a few years now, is she makes all these trip logs and she shows herself going through the great times and the difficulties, the challenges on portages and bad weather, and she suffers from colitis on occasion. That creates problems, right? It's the unvarnished truth of what canoe tripping is like, and I think that just demystifies it for people, and especially women. I've sort of heard from women and been at some of these symposia and stuff like that, and people just rave about the kind of effect that she's had, the influence that she's had. It emboldens people, and I think it's terrific. I'm such an admirer of what she's doing. She and Kelly Camps is another person who does the same kind of thing, does the same kind of content. So thank you, Christina, for doing what you do, and you've actually inspired me, because I never really did trip reports, and then this last year I decided, I'm going to try a trip report. I'm going to try to record some stuff on a trip and break it up into parts and release it in pieces the way you do. And I thought, no one's going to want to watch that stuff, and it worked. People liked it, and I thought that's great. And I sort of modeled it after you. I don't do it as well as you, so I hope to learn more about how you do it. But I have a question in connection with all of that.
Okay.
And sorry, that was a long speech. I'm sorry.
That was really, really nice. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's well earned. But the question is, how does the fact that you record all of your trips this way affect the quality of your trips? Like, do you actually go out on trips and not record them and not upload content about them? Do you have any such trips? No? Okay. So do you think it would be better if you didn't? Do you think you'd have a better time out there if you didn't? Or do you think you have a better time because you record it?
I think the latter, probably. I really enjoy filming, and it's awesome. It's just like to have that memory, it's like my photo album. I can Google myself at any time or day. Someone will say, oh, remember that trip you went on to such and such? Like, how long was that portage? And I'm like, yeah, it was 250 meters. Like, you know what I mean? It's really neat to have all that stuff like there, and to be able to, I watch my own videos sometimes. I know that sounds kind of weird, but I don't see myself. It's like I'm watching the adventure just like everybody else, I think. And it's neat. I really enjoy the videoing. There are times obviously where, you're tired and you're wet and you're miserable, and, the last thing you want to do is film. And, if I don't film, then I just say a little blurb like, I just went through 3 hours of crap, and sorry, but this is what happened. And, that's that. So, but for the most part, I like it. And thank you very much for the kind words. I really do appreciate them. It's very nice of you.
Christina, we got a question from Tina once again in the chat, and if I can get my mouse to work here proper, there we go. She's asking, what's the one piece of equipment you still don't own but wish you had, and why?
Oh.
Or why don't you have it?
I don't know. I don't think there is any equipment that I don't own that I still wish I had.
Yeah, I'll ask you. Okay, you in the green room, you were showing me your battery packs that you use to charge your phone.
Yeah.
You got these two big whoppers, right? Have you ever considered a solar charging unit, like one of the Goal Zero type of things?
I I had a solo charger type of one of those when I first started getting portable chargers, and it never worked really well. And it kind of turned me off of them. I know there's probably some really good ones. I've heard there's some good ones out there, but this is all I have, right? Like I have my phone and I have this battery, and if it doesn't work or I drop my phone in the lake or whatever, like I'm through. So it's not through, but I can't record any of the trip. And to me, the trip is lost. It's like you said, like I don't usually ever go out on trip and not record or not film it or document it because it's part of it for me. So yeah, I just can't seem to get myself to trust that.
Do you have something for backup as far as recording capabilities?
No.
No.
I brought for 2 years on every single trip I went on. I have like a little, like a point and shoot type of a camera. And I've never ever used it. I always brought it with me, 2 batteries, and I've never needed it. So one day I just kind of stopped bringing it, and that.
I think we're still in the stage of solar powered chargers where it's always so surreal when you see someone paddling by and they have like a whole panel of solar chargers spread out over their canoe and their pack. You're like, what are you doing with all this? Like, what is going on here? You know, and it makes a lot of sense if you need to power up a battery for your headlamp and your DSLR and your phone. And but yeah, I'm with you, Christine. I pack like a 15,000 milliamp pack that I pre-charge, and I've never had an issue so far.
Is that right? I've got the Goal Zero Nomad, and it's a great unit. Unfolds open, and that there I just keep it on my backpack open, and I've got all the power usually for myself. And if I'm canoeing with like 3 other buddies, there's enough power for all of us. So all the iPhones and the Samsungs and the cameras and everything's all charged. So
Does that have like special straps to stick on your backpack? Because like I bring a Lucy light. Sue and I both use one. I love my Lucy. And I find that even in the way when I'm tripping that it's hanging off the side of my pack. Like
you can see it's got like little loopy things here.
Okay.
So you can use carabiners, and there's 7 of them on there, and that could strap to your pack. Or when you're just lazing around at your campsite for the day, you open that out on a rock, and like I say, it'll charge 4 AA batteries in about hour and a half, which is to me quite impressionable.
And not only that, it's pretty much waterproof, isn't it, Dennis?
I'm sorry,
Sorry, not only that, it's pretty much it's very water resistant.
It is, yes. Yeah. Just something I like to have, it works out. Let's see here. We got room for one more, and I see we got NW Excursions is in the house. How you doing tonight?
Hi.
I'm good. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Got any questions for Christina tonight?
All right, I've got one for Sue and Christina, and maybe Martin will chime in.
What is your favorite time of year?
Initially, especially if you're filming and you're going in to set up your hot tent, are you sledding in pre-cut wood, or are you processing everything and using it when you get there and are set up?
I do both. I if it fits, especially if I'm with someone, we'll bring in a bag. Sometimes 2 if it fits, and then we process some to mix with the dry wood, just because it's easier that way. If I can afford to carry it and I can muster up the strength to bring it in, then I bring it in, and that's just because I'm not. I'm still working on my wood processing. I just actually batoned wood in one of my recent videos that I haven't been able to do it forever. And then I finally was like, oh, look, I can do this. So I don't feel confident in myself enough yet with gathering the wood just solely from the forest. So I always bring a little bit with me, even if it's just a couple 3-hour logs. And that's just how I do it. And my favorite season, my favorite time to camp is probably August, September.
Oh, that's a nice time.
Yeah. No bugs and less people. Hot.
In one of your last videos too, I think it was the one where you were trialing the new tent.
Yeah.
You brought some wood from home, but you found that the wood that you had purchased, it was pretty wet still.
I had one bag of dry wood from Killarney from my trip last year that I did there. I did a trip in Killarney at the campground, and the wood was amazing. So I bought 8 bags, and then I just brought it home and put it in my basement. And so I still have one bag, and I just threw it in the car at the last minute. And thankfully, I had brought 3 bags of wood from the gas station in Huntsville. Has got wet wood. In case you're going there, don't go. But it's across from the Shoppers, and I've been getting wood there for the last 3 years. And last year it wasn't really that great, and this year it was literally not even wet inside; it was frozen inside, and it was just terrible. Like it was. I honestly I wanted to cry the first couple hours because I thought I made my tent too big. I thought, oh my God, I made the tent too big. The stove can't handle it. It's not getting warm. You know, like, oh no, like this is terrible. Like I have to get a new stove now. And then it clicked in, right? And I'm like, oh, it's the wood, right? Because the temperature just kept going like that. And yeah, it was the wood. So it's really important to have dry wood to keep the tent warm, right? So
from just as a caveat from a Huntsville local's perspective, unfortunately, if it's been a really busy season, the folks that supply the firewood to the gas station type firewood depots, once they've run out of the good stuff in July and August, well, they're supplying whatever they can lay their hands on at that point once they're all out.
yeah.
So yeah, I've had that experience too, where just as a last minute stop, picked up an extra bag, and then yeah, I had it mostly frozen or very, very wet, and it was just because it had been an extremely busy season, and that firewood supplier was down to whatever they had under the tarp in the backyard or whatever, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know, when I did a solo trip there in the spring, it was the ice out trip that I did. I was on Smoke Lake. Actually, no, it was Smoke Lake over to Ragged, and I passed these guys. No, it was from Ragged to Porcupine, and I seen these 2 guys on that 500-meter portage. You know the one, probably it's almost like uphill both ways for half a kilometer.
Yeah.
These guys carrying bags of wood on their shoulders. I'm thinking to myself, before I'm going to do that, I'm not going to have a fire.
I've never done that on a summer trip. I only do that when I bring the hot tent, just for the record. Sue has. Yeah.
Wow.
She's not a winter. She's over here.
I don't even bring wood in winter. I camp mostly on Crown land, so I always harvest wood that I find out there. And there is a trick to it. You have to be able to tell the difference between a tree that is actually dead and a tree that is alive but has merely shed its leaves. I've seen people cut down live trees thinking they were dead and then wondering why they don't burn.
Me too.
So, yeah.
It sucks when that happens.
I'm usually okay finding the dead wood and mixing it in, but it's just the confidence thing. It's not there yet. So
Yeah.
So if you're going for 2 nights, Christina and Sue, how many bags of like pre-dried wood would you throw on the sled?
Probably just like 1 each. Like one sled. Not a ton, yeah. And then we'll process like double the amount, right? And then just mix it in. But it's just, I don't know, it's kind of like a safety blanket for me still. I'm not, I'm still new. Like I've been winter camping since 2015, but I still feel like I'm new at it. And, there's, I don't know all the things. So I'm not afraid to admit that. It's just what I'm.
Well, it helps you make a bed of coals too, kind of, right? Like once you have your hot fire going, then you can put your wet stuff on, whatever.
Yeah.
But, like the dry stuff you bring in just helps get you going pretty much too.
Yeah.
Yeah. My apologies for the guys on the bottom row here, because I'm going to be popping a couple questions up here, so it's going to cover your faces a bit. Unintentional for sure, but here's a question for Christina. Do you make time to watch Bill Mason videos like Water Walker or other old school outdoorsy videos?
I have seen Water Walker. It's a great video, and I've seen a few of them. My time is really, really limited. I work full time, and then, getting ready for trips. I'm making videos. I'm publishing a video almost every single day, even if it's just a clip. Twitter, Instagram, laundry, cutting the grass, friends, family. It's tough. Time is very short for me, and I try to put out a lot of content. I've posted a YouTube video every single week for, I don't know, I think it's been almost 3 years now. I've had the YouTube channel 2 years, 2.5 years. And I posted a blog post every single week for 3 years on my blog before I stopped posting there in January. So it's tough, but I do try to keep up with stuff like that. I've read 3 of Hap Wilson's books, 2 of them this summer while I was in Temagami. So that's been awesome. And I fit it in when I can.
Yeah. And one thing we didn't touch on at all throughout the whole conversation tonight is Camper Christina cooks.
Yeah.
Your cooking ability. You know what? I watched some of your videos and I'm thinking to myself, geez, the stuff she carries in, but the meals you eat out there are phenomenal.
We eat well.
Yeah.
Do you like the comments too?
We
Pardon
definitely eat well, and I think some of our trips we have our space and our barrel, and then we have another bag on the side because we can't fit it all.
Gotta have energy out there, and that comes by way of food, right? Well, hello, kitty cat.
Yeah.
You did mention I do have colitis. Sometimes it doesn't affect me at all when I'm out on trip, and sometimes it's a really big problem for me. And so I try to eat as much homemade food, I guess you would call it, as I can. OTG has just come out. They've got some amazing meals. I had a bunch of their stuff, and I'm loving their stuff. But so much of that food is so processed, and then and then you eat all that, and then you get migraine, and there's so many, food issues. So I try to make stuff when I can, and I don't like to eat sometimes, especially when I'm out on trip. My friend Sean Rowley's like that too. He's not a big eater when he's out on trips, and I know I have to eat, and so in order to make myself eat, I make this kind of stuff to, make sure I do it.
I feel very safe saying at this point between all of us on the screen that Martin is going to be the only one that survives a societal apocalypse.
Agreed.
Because I'm pretty sure he can exist on almost next to nothing.
Yeah.
Which is extremely impressive given the last video I watched of the cooking that he and Alana were doing.
Well, it's an illusion. So for those who are watching, don't know what Nate is talking about. In a recent video, I sort of disclosed that my wife and I, we bring very little food when we go camping. And we went on a 9-day trip that turned into an 11-day trip because we were windbound, and all of our food fit very easily into the bottom, not even the whole pack, just in the bottom of the 75-liter pack. And it's because we eat only one meal a day. We're on a very, very, very low carb, high fat diet. So basically, we're eating the equivalent of pemmican. We're eating a lot of meat, a lot of fat. And so that's what he's talking about. But you shouldn't think there's no calorie restriction. We eat like pigs. We just eat once a day because we're not hungry all day long. So we don't need snacks. So we don't bring breakfast, we don't bring lunch, and we don't bring snacks and everything else that you need to prepare all that. So our food is very, very compact and very, very calorically rich. So it seems like we're getting by on very little food, but it's just very little food in terms of volume. In terms of calories, it's probably more than what anybody else brings. So it's all illusion. We eat like pigs out there. We only eat one meal a day.
It was really impressive seeing the volume that it actually took up for the time that you and Alana were out there.
Yeah, 11 days. We don't bring a food barrel or an extra pack for food or anything like that. It all fits in the bottom of a 75-liter pack. So we have one 75-liter pack that has most of our gear, and then the remainder of the other 75-liter pack that also contains the food. So plus you save the weight of the barrel, right? You don't have to lug a barrel around.
I'll carry the barrel.
That's part of camping. I mean,
and that included lots of scotch for happy hour every day of the trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you don't have to drink much if you're not eating. You just like you're like
No, I'm a cheap date. I'm a really cheap date.
Actually, I have a very YouTube-y question for Christina.
uh-oh.
I haven't been on YouTube very long. I only am because it's Martin's fault. But how long does it take you on average to prep and edit a video?
Ooh. It depends on the trip, the length of the trip, but probably a couple hours. My last the Thanksgiving trip was a 5-day. I think for every day I had 2 hours of footage, which had to be into like a half an hour each because I try to keep them. They used to be 15 minutes and now they're like a half an hour, like. Because I don't want to waste the footage, and sometimes there's just so many awesome things I just can't. It's just so hard to delete stuff, right? So I would say at least like probably about 4 hours for a good half-hour video. Because if I've got 2 hours of footage, first of all, I have to watch all of that footage, trim it, and then once I get it down to the half hour, then I go through again and add like the titles and the music. And sometimes the music is the hardest part for me. I really try to. Pick music that really reflects the moment, like when I'm doing the Ababaca River and I'm in like the log jams and stuff, I've got like, da, 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 like it's, because that's the way I'm feeling, right? And I want people to kind of feel that same way. Music is so powerful in that respect where, you can have so many good memories or bad memories attached to certain types of music. So, I would say probably about four on average for a half-hour video.
Wow. Would you say that's your least favorite part of this whole thing? Is the screen time and crunching the editing? No.
No, I love making the videos. It's actually why
Me
I
too.
stopped blogging. I enjoy writing just as much, but I can do both, and I really love the videos more. The videos also don't cost me anything, whereas WordPress and blogging was costing me like $400 a year to have the blog up, and I wasn't making anything. Whereas YouTube, I don't make a lot of money, but if I can score $100 every 3 or 4 months, like that's still more than paying $400 for a blog, right? And I just enjoy them more. I really like the videos a lot. I think they've improved quite a bit too since I've started. I've learned a lot since I've started making videos, and I really enjoy making them. Like when I get home from a trip, I'm like, all right, let's go. What did I do? And how was it? And I don't know, I forgot about that. And it's just like reliving the adventure over and over again. It's great. I really enjoy it.
I think my wife's trying to pass me. Yeah, I spent a lot of time editing, just like you. Yeah, it seems like a half-hour video. You could multiply that by 5-6 times. I'm
also streamlining a lot. Like I'm getting better at filming. Knowing how long to make a clip and not just filming like redundant things that I'm not going to use or that I'm going to have to cut. I just did a hiking. I went out for a hike on Saturday morning, and it took me 20 minutes to make the video, right? Because I just filmed what I knew I was going to use, and it was perfect. So sometimes you get it bang on. You don't have to cut that much. It just depends on the trip.
So Dan Mailot's asking what type of camera gear do you use, and you'll be quite surprised at the answer. iPhone
7. That's it.
And you know what? It's amazing the quality of footage that you actually get with that.
Yeah, I get tons of comments about the footage and the film and the video and the quality, and I'm like, it's just an iPhone. And then people say, oh, you should get this, and you should. I mean, you know what? I love Jim Barrett's 4K and his beautiful videos and TV show quality, but I'm not bringing a generator on my trip. I'm just not.
Well, he's big enough; he can carry a generator.
Yes,
I met him for the first time at the winter camping.
Oh, did you?
And that guy is a beast. He is a beast. It's like, no wonder. Okay. Like, hello, Mr. Barrett. How you doing? He stands about 6'4", 6'5" easily.
Yeah, he was in my tent, and he didn't look like big or small in it. It was perfect. Yeah. So that's how I knew I made a big tent right there. I was like, oh, Jim's standing up in it. He doesn't have to squat or bend over.
And I don't know. Has anybody seen? I guess Buck isn't doing so well.
No.
Yeah.
So I got a GoFundMe account set up. So
Yeah. So if anybody wants to check that out, I have a link on my Facebook page, Canoehound's Outdoor Adventure Show. You can go on there, and they have a GoFundMe that was set up by Ted, and they're just trying to raise a little bit of money because I guess Buck's up for a $10,000 surgery.
yeah.
So hopefully things work out well there because Buck is an awesome dog.
He
He
is.
really is. Yeah. So Dasa. And did he not? He got that dog from Alex, did he
I
not?
did get the dog from Alex. Yeah, he tells the story about it actually in my changing of the seasons video. I did a little interview with Jim on there, and he tells a story about how he got the dog, and it's quite a story actually. That's Jim Baird. I mean, he's got the stories. So
Yeah. And we got another question up here from Brian J. He remembers one of your Christina blog posts about biking the rail trail down his way.
yeah.
How far do you try to plan out your trips? By the month? By the season?
I don't really. When you had sent me the interview questions and said, what's on the roster for next year, I was like, because I live in Muskoka, like I can literally get off of work on a Friday and come home and pack my stuff and go on a trip. And there's so many places to go, and there's so many places I want to go. I don't care where I go as long as it's somewhere new. Most of the time is my preference. Winter camping's a little tricky for that. But in the summer, as long as it's somewhere new that I haven't been before and there's some type of a challenge to it, I'm off. I'm ready to go. So I don't really plan that far ahead. That biking blog post that you saw, Brian, was actually probably after my knee surgery. I had 2 knee surgeries, and I actually used to be I don't say hardcore, but in my mind, I was a hardcore beach twos volleyball player. It was a huge passion of mine, and that's what I was doing instead of backcountry camping, because I had friends that did that, and I didn't have friends that backcountry camped. And after my second surgery, they said, you can play, but you can't play hard. And I said, well, then I can't play, because I'm an all or nothing kind of girl. So that's another reason why I kind of got back into the hiking and the camping and all that stuff, was because I was kind of kicked out of my other passion. But I had knee surgery, and I was biking the TCT as part of the Woods application as well, because they were promoting the Trans-Canada Trail. So when I started my blog, I was all about the TCT and going on the Trans-Canada Trail, which I believe is now called Great Canadian Trail, which has been joined to connect all of Canada. I think it's complete now. So,
What's your longest trip been?
5 days, 6 days. Oh, 5 days, 6 days. Did I do 6 days? 6 days.
Sue, can you help her out with this one?
Use 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving trips are usually what, 5 or 6? 6 days. Yeah, 6 days.
Obata Loop was
Yeah, there's 6 days. Yeah.
the Thanksgiving trip was supposed to be 6 days, but I cut it a day short because it started snowing and I couldn't see Ishpetina Ridge. So I said, well, I might as well go home.
Yeah, that's one on my bucket list there. I'd love to go to that area.
Yeah. And again, I mean, I work a full-time job. My job is busiest in the summertime as well. So I take Mondays and Fridays off so that I can do more trips. I would rather do, 20 trips that are 3 days than do, like I said, like a 1 week or a 2 week, because then that's all I get. Then what am I going to video? Like, what am I going to post, right? Like,
Right.
you go camping 1 night a week, like 1 night a month, like it's not enough. So I use iMovie on, I have a Mac, so I use iMovie. It's free with the Mac, and I love it. I had some issues with my computer. Actually, the day I got home from my Thanksgiving trip, I was all like, oh, I'm home a day early. I got a day off to chill and hang up my gear, and I go to upload all my stuff, and my computer's full. And then I go, oh, okay, well, delete some stuff out of iMovie. And then it says, iMovie can't open because your iOS is outdated. And yeah, I spent the entire day off fixing issues. It's very hard because there's a lot of videos take up a lot of space. I actually have 4 external drives right now hooked up to my computer. So
Yeah, aren't they grand? Yeah, I've got an iMac too, and if
I
it
love
gets
my
too
Mac,
full,
though.
it slows down. That little pinwheel starts going
Oh yeah, the
and
spinning
going
wheel of
and
death.
going. Yeah. Let's see here. Lucho's full of questions tonight, and that's awesome. Thanks, Luch. When you trip, do you usually move each day or travel one day, set up camp for a few days? Your preferences there?
Yeah, I like to move each day if I can. Again, it depends on the trip. Like, sometimes I can only just do a 2-nighter and I go in and I go out. But when I do like tripping trips, as I call them, but they're 3-4 days, I try to do loops as much as possible. I like to move every day, and I'm an explorer by heart. That's what I love. I love to just see all the different places and find the waterfalls and check out all the lakes and find the animals, which I never do, but I try. So yeah, the moving is important for sure, and the tripping portion.
Yeah. Myself, I enjoy taking a 5-day trip, doing it in 7 days. So you get 1 or 2 layover days. You never know if somebody's gonna get injured, or you want to fish. The weather's bad. It gives you that buffer zone, right?
I've never actually been windbound on a trip for more than 3 hours. So I don't know if I'm going out when I'm not supposed to, probably. But I almost did on my last trip. I was like, I'm not going. I was crying. I'm like, I'm not going. I feel bad, but I'm not going. And then an hour later, I'm like, hi. Okay, so I'm on my way out. And it was like, the weather changes sometimes in a heartbeat, right? And when you're doing portage trips, especially if you're on land more than you're on the water, who cares about the weather, right?
Yeah. Here's a question here for anybody on the panel, I guess, and I guess somebody very familiar to Chris, I believe it is, right, from NW Excursions. That's your name.
Yeah.
Okay. So Cabin Life with Glenn and Maureen, another channel I follow quite often, and they're asking any tips for winter hiking, camping.
First of all, can you clarify what kind?
What kind of camping, Glenn, Maureen? That's probably Glenn.
Hot tenting, RVing, cold camping. There's so many different.
Stay warm.
I would say get used to summer camping and just being out in general first before you try winter camping, just so that you can actually handle being out there before you're out in the cold. Then it's like, oh crap, it's cold.
I think relatively outback camping. It's Maureen, so it's mom, and she's saying outback camping. So basically, I would think best advice is to have good gear. When you're out there in a cold situation, you have to have something you can really rely on, and you have to trust your gear. A lot of times, if something is rated to be -20, -30, test it out at home and really get a feeling for it and build trust in the gear that you have, because after all, it's the only thing between you and the cold and hypothermia, right? So.
My tip would be just to do as much research as possible. Like Dennis said, practice at home. It sounds kind of silly, but I had a hot tent and I was camping in a summer tent with a space heater because I didn't have the courage to go all the way in. And it took me almost a year to do that because everything is 10 times harder in the winter. Plastic breaks, your hands hurt, they get cold when you're trying to put the tent poles together. You get wet from sweat and then you get cold inside your clothes. There's just so many. Your food freezes, your eggs are going to freeze, right? First thing that happened to me when I went in that yurt with my mom, I went to make breakfast the next day. I got out the Coleman stove. Oh, and your fuel will freeze as well. You need to put that in your sleeping bag or keep it warm.
Mine won't freeze. My fuel won't freeze.
No?
No, I use white gas.
Oh, yeah, the white gas is good.
Whisper Lake those?
Yep.
Yeah, they're awesome. You can use those on Everest.
Perfect.
Yeah. For us, I actually built a Quincy in our backyard one year just so that my son and I could sleep in it so he could get used to that colder weather. He lasted till about 4 a.m. and then we had to hightail it inside.
Well, here's a
Right.
couple people asking you a good question, Christina. If you won the lottery tomorrow, where in the world would you plan a backcountry trip?
Oh, wow. I think I would do like a 2-month trip through Temagami. I would just start at one end and just go as far as I could go and connect all the lakes and rivers all the way around and just do everything. Like I would just live out there for a while.
Have
yeah.
some food drops done and
Yeah.
Yep.
Superior, Sleeping Giant. Those are some places at Quetico. There's a lot of places I want to go. The bucket list is long.
It'd be nice to see Hudson's Bay. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do the Mizunami trip up there. That'd be cool. That's another one of my bucket list trips.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cocktails. What's your favorite cocktail on a trip? I know these are silly little questions, but they get us to know you a little bit better, right?
Sue?
She would have coconut rum.
Coconut rum.
Yep, coconut rum.
Yeah.
Soda water, coconut rum and water, and then flavor it sometimes with like the little squirt flavor stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's her favorite drink.
And what's yours, Sue?
Vodka and squirty drink. Usually some type of berry or pomegranate or some kind of a something.
Like those little Mio things or little
Yeah.
Yeah. Those things are great.
I
I carry the bags of powdered juice or lemonade and iced tea and stuff. No, now I just bring them quick little squirt in a water bottle and you're happy, right?
Oh, yeah, they're good. Yeah. Yeah. Or polar bears.
Polar bears too. Yeah.
Winter drink would be hot apple cider and spiced rum. Delicious.
Okay.
Bailey's and hot chocolate is good too, but it's not that great with colitis. So.
Fireball.
Or for you.
We have room in the chat if anybody wants to come up. I know Martin was really trying to get Kevin to pop up. I think Mr. Callan should pop his head into the chat and say hello.
Kevin doesn't want to come in here. He'll probably start talking about the canoe paddle.
Oh yeah. That's a controversial one for him.
Or the kayak trip I took him on where he couldn't catch a fish.
Was that the Canada Day?
No, that was the Canada Day. We did the Canada Canoe. We caught lots of fish that trip. Actually, Mr. Callan helped me clean my first 3-4 fish. I did them all. I learned how to do it, but I had never really done it by myself. So I cleaned all 4 of the fish on this canoe paddle, which was pretty cool. And a month later, I got to do it on my own at the French River. So that was great. But yeah, we caught a lot of fish. We did a kayak trip though, and he couldn't catch a fish in the kayak.
People are all up with it. Adventures with Joe's is asking, could we have another Kevin and Christina trip?
I would love to do another trip with Kevin. We've been trying actually for like a year now, and it's just really hard with our schedules. We just can't seem to line it up. So, but if there's an opening, yeah, I definitely would love to do that.
Yeah, that's always tough just trying to coordinate, with somebody, especially, you've got a busy schedule and Kevin has got the same, with his teaching and and just kind of bump into each other maybe on a trip or something. Say, hey, what are you doing here, right?
Yeah.
That's all right. So not too many Algonquin Park trips in your future? Like, I mean, canoe wise, I know you go up there for winter camping a lot.
I love Algonquin, but it's just been getting so busy. Like the last few years, this year is just like you used to be able to, like, I like the Rain Lake, the Tim River area, all in that Ralph Bice, that side is usually pretty good for me. But it's so busy now. Even like you used to be able just to go in there and, okay, like you said, what are my plans? I don't book campsites 5 months in advance. I have no idea what I'm going to do in 5 months. And that's why I love Temagami, because, you can just go and most of the time you get lucky and no one's around. I like North Algonquin. I've got a couple of routes that I've set up that I'd like to do, but this year, I'm doing all my presentations this spring on Temagami and exploring Temagami, which is part of the reason why I did so many Temagami trips. But I'm also doing the presentation on Temagami because I wanted to go to Temagami and do so many trips there because It's a great place to go.
There are so many areas in Temagami that you could actually go to, right?
You know what's bigger than Algonquin?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so unprotected. Like
your western reaches are heading over towards Sudbury area at the lower portion, and
yeah.
And as far north as like what is it, New Liskeard, almost, right?
Yeah.
For the Montreal River. So yeah, there's a lot of territory there. Like I say, I've done a lot of routes up there, and there's a lot more I'd still love to do. But like I say, I haven't been out Temagami area, well, I shouldn't say that because we go up by Martin River over to Wickstead Lake every year, family camping. But that's not backcountry canoe camping, which is what I really, really like to do. Okay, are you ready for this? Hello, Kevin.
Hi.
Hello.
I was trying to do your angel voice. Hello, Kevin.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh, it's Kevin.
Oh,
He's here tonight.
actually, I got that down pat. Oh, Kevin, you don't take me anywhere.
I put a picture up for you. Oh, you can't see it.
No, that's cool. That's cool. But I see the big bass you're holding up.
That's from our trip.
Yeah, I caught those. You put them. You
You didn't catch all of them.
I'm just joking.
Show us the bass, Christina.
I said pardon.
Oh,
I just told the story about how you taught me how to clean fish.
Yeah, and that was a really good day. You remember that day?
I do. I went to the bathroom and you caught a bunch of fish with my fishing rod.
I wasn't going to bring that up.
And then we got stuck under a tree in a lightning storm.
Oh, Luke. Oh, remember the whole Halo. You guys have been in the woods, right? The whole canoe trip. When it was sort of it sounds like a freight train coming across the lake. It's a curtain of hell coming towards you, and it was sort of like uh-oh, and we just sort of it lasted 5 minutes. We're fine, and then we went and cooked up the bass. It was good.
Yeah, it was really good. What did we have it with? Poutine?
No, that was later. That was that you explained the whole thing because you had it all organized. You're a very organized person. I am not. When we did the 50 thing, no, seriously, list the things that you had.
You brought a whole bag of potatoes.
I don't think I brought anything.
You brought a whole bag of apples.
Yeah,
and then I carried it all with the tump on my head.
Yes, you did that. It was called Kevin's life is, oh gosh, I'm going on a trip. I forgot. Throw everything in the pack. Let's go. It's Naganash. There's only 3 portages. Who cares? And then all of a sudden you're like, we have to carry all this? I went, oh yeah. And then you had a little small pack, but everything in that pack, like you had everything. You had.
It was like a bottomless bag. He's like, what is that? What is that?
Yeah.
I have lights for the tree, Canada lights.
Yes, and
my onesie.
The music. Remember, I had no lyrics.
Do you know that they demonetized my one video with us because the Tragically Hip took the fees? I was like, that's okay. I'm all right with that.
Yeah, we'll
sometimes you have to sacrifice, eh?
Yeah, because I play Wheat Kings in the background.
Yeah, we'll take one for the team. Yeah,
that's all good.
Yeah. Well, he was a paddler, and actually, the first time I met him, I met him at CBC, and I was trying to be really cool about it. And he goes, "Hey, Kevin," and I seriously like, whoa.
Wait, what? You're talking about Gord?
Yeah, he's a big paddler. Yeah.
You met Gord?
Yeah. Long story, but
you knew who you were. You're very famous, Kevin. I didn't mean anything by it.
No, it's very awkward because to be quite honest, Camper Christina, I didn't think he would know me. I was in this room I was in the room with Jim Cuddy, Gordon Lightfoot, all those people, right? And they're all paddlers, and they all like, "Hey, Kevin," and I was like Spirit of the West too. I was like, oh. And well, you've tripped with me, right? It's like, no, but I was like, what do? Do you say, hi, how are you? Or you're like, oh my God, run away, run away. Anyway, but so sorry, I was outside all day. What was the thing we're talking about? Oh yeah, that was a really cool day. So we cooked bass on the shore, but remember the snake?
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was a big snake. I don't like snakes.
That's good steak.
No, it's a snake, not a steak.
Steak.
No, snake.
Snake.
The water snake.
Oh, you were making we made the fish on the Kelly on the Kelly Kell stove.
Yeah, but
And there was a huge snake on the rock. I'm here now.
Yeah, it was so cool. It actually slept right beside it. It literally, like, I'm afraid of the water. Water snakes are very, like, aggressive, right? But that thing slept beside us while we made those bass up. That was amazing.
It was a lot of fish. It was good.
Yeah. But the storm, oh my Lord. Like, it rained and poured and it was a lovely time. Sue, you've been quiet for a while. You're watching. I've only gone on a few trips with Camper Christina. I think you have more to add.
Maybe. We've got a few more trips planned.
All right. Let's just say that my video that got demonetized was drunken shrimp.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you did a recipe on drunken shrimp, which was really good. It was a really great recipe.
That was delicious. I need to make that again.
But YouTube said we cannot promote alcohol consumption. I'm thinking, what's whiskey chats I do? Like, what the hell? I don't get demonetized. But no, your drunken shrimp is gone. Yep.
Oh. That was a good video. That was delicious.
You might have to post a video on that there. That sounds actually pretty good.
Oh, it was a good recipe. Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin's got it on his YouTube, right?
Yes, but it's not monetized.
Don't make any money off of it.
Don't watch it.
So if you watch it, just watch another video.
Only watch the monetized one.
No,
Yeah, I found a recipe that used scotch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Kevin loves scotch. So I said, all right, I'm going to make something with scotch in it. So I found this
that's
recipe.
wrong because you burn it. If you're cooking with scotch, it burns. Like,
Wait, you straight scotch with it.
I was crying through the whole entire. Well, Lord.
You drank scotch with it, so it was fine.
Oh yeah, that's right. I did.
Yeah.
So I heard the word scotch and I was like, I gotta be involved.
That was Black Lake. That was the dead lake, Black Cat Lake.
Oh yeah, that. Don't tell me about that's a good lake.
Lake.
Don't tell me about that lake. No, it's a good lake.
That was bug season.
Yeah, we stayed in the bug shelter a lot that trip, eh? Yeah.
Let me just say a shout out to Eureka for making those bug shelters. They saved my life.
Well, and so all the listeners there. So the whole history. If you haven't seen the videos, so Explorer magazine that I write a blog for and I write a column for, they said, "Hey, who's this new YouTuber, Camper Christina? Can you go out with her and interview her because she's a single woman going on solo trips? It's amazing that." Creates motivation for all these people going out. On yeah, sure. And I talked to you at the Toronto show, so we went out on the trip. We actually stayed most of the time in the bug shelter. That was exciting. Well, we went out.
They're a godsend, aren't they?
We played Family Feud. It was good.
Yeah, we did actually. And then I got back, and then the Ontario Tourism said, "Hey, for the 150 Canada, you should go out there," because she wanted me to go kayaking, and I said, "I don't really want anything to do with the devil."
I only wanted him to go because he really didn't want to.
I am just joking. So we were supposed to go kayaking, but then I said, "Look, it's Canada's anniversary." Like for 150, we need to go in the canoe. Sorry.
Canoe.
Yeah. So we went into the canoe, and then you had the whole campsite set up elaborately with dollar store flags, everything, right?
Yeah.
And then actually in the fall, you said you need to go kayaking still, and it was really funny because I tried to shove my canoe pack into the kayak.
Yeah.
They wouldn't fit. You're like,
Wow. No, he was using the reception too, Sue, the smaller one.
No, that was scripted by Camper Christina. She had it scripted. She goes, and she had one of those. Take one. Okay, Kevin, shove your pack into the. Yeah.
I wanted
Was
to.
that the trip that your scotch leaked all over your bag?
Every friggin' trip I do, my scotch. I have fun. Yeah, and you know what? I swear to God, I was thinking the other day. I did a collaboration of videos of Speedo Man and I, and how many times my scotch just leaked my bag. And people think that that's all made up. No.
No, I've seen it.
Kevin, do you bring a bottle of scotch, or do you bring your scotch in a flask when you go camping?
I bring it in a platypus bag, basically because I'm using it in a provincial park, so glass and
No glass. Yeah.
They don't make glasses.
So,
A Gatorade bottle or a Sprite plastic bottle or something like that.
I know. Just,
Put it right in your
Sue,
canoe pack, eh?
Sue, you're the real Camper Christina. You know all. We're all a facade. All of us. We're just a facade. You know everything. I've met you. I've talked to you many times. You know a lot of stuff, and you're being quiet. You're being very quiet.
I am quiet right now. I'm enjoying this.
But you're right. You're right.
You can put a blend in a Gatorade bottle, but single malt has to go in something better.
Yeah.
We usually do like the polar bears in a Gatorade bottle.
Yeah, and the coconut rum.
Yep.
It's already smelly with like orange or whatever. So
Yeah.
The reason why I wanted to get on was because I had a question for you, Camper Christina.
what are you making?
It's funny because Daniel said, "Why is Rain Dance always cooking when he's online?" I'm making baby food for one of my daughters.
Oh.
What I wanted to know is because I've heard a lot about how Algonquin's really camped out now. Finding wood's a problem. There are people everywhere and stuff. And are you afraid that the same will happen to Temagami? Like if it becomes more popular and sort of overtakes Algonquin in certain ways? I mean, it probably won't, but are you afraid of...
I don't know. I don't think it will because it's farther away. Like it's hard to say, really. I mean, I'm assuming everything will, as sooner or later, get taken over. But I think the lure...
That's an optimistic view.
A lot of people don't go there because they find it hard. And that's the reason I never went there before, because you don't know where to go. You don't know where to get the permit. You don't know how to get a permit. You don't know, like, it's very confusing, right? And the Friends of Temagami help a lot with that, but it's confusing at first. And I think people are just kind of scared of that. Like they like to go places they know, and I don't know. I just kind of like more of a challenge personally, but
Are the portages there marked?
some of them are, yeah.
Some are.
Okay.
And how much farther is it? Like, I've never camped at all in Ontario, right? I've been like, oh, I really want to check out Algonquin for years, and I really want to do this, but I have never camped in Ontario at all. So I know where Algonquin is, but Temagami I know is further, but how much further is it?
Well, Rain Dance, first of all, tell them where you're from.
Sorry?
Rain Dance, tell them where you're from.
Oh, I'm one province over. I'm in Montreal.
Ah. Well, to give you an idea, like where I am, it's about 2.5 hours to Algonquin, whereas for me to get to Temagami, I'm looking at 6.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's like way further.
Yeah.
And for me, from Muskoka to get to North Algonquin, which is the top of the park, it takes me 3 to 4 hours. For me to get to the bottom of Temagami, it takes me about 3.5 hours.
Okay, because I know where Muskoka is, so okay.
Yeah.
So it's not like, I'm not great at really long road trips. I mean, I'll do them if there's something, worthwhile at the end. Like we do, my in-laws are all in like New York City, right? So I'm used to like a 10-hour stretch, but I really hate it. But if what's on the other end is not a freaking city, but is something gorgeous and natural, I might actually do it anyway.
I've been known to drive the 6 hours to do a one-night trip.
Yeah, it's worth the drive.
Yeah.
It's worth the drive. Yeah.
Well, I may have to hit the
Yes,
road at some point. I'll bug Dennis or Kevin to take me somewhere in Ontario.
Or how about you not go for one night? How about you go to Temagami and spend 10 nights, and that would be.
I want to. I have to convince a husband and an 11-year-old child that they want to do that.
Welcome to my world.
Or get your husband in, or seriously, Sue, get your. Well, I don't know anything about whatever, but the reality of it is, if they don't want to go, then get your husband to take care of the child, and you go on your own.
Yeah, man.
That's when she goes on trips with me.
Yeah, because you really don't connect to wilderness until day 5, day 6.
Yeah, they're getting more comfortable with the longer trips. We've done 2 and 3 night trips, and I think this next summer our plan is to push and go to Temagami, and I want to do a 5-day. So we'll see. I push.
Well, yeah, I think it's great.
He just complain every now and again. Although his favorite position is lying like this in the back of the canoe, so he doesn't do any work anyway.
I'm so glad you finished that sentence.
Wow, that was awkward.
Sorry, cheers, everybody.
I think Kevin's already into the scotch.
To get on the topic of running out of wood in Temagami, maybe in 100 years, all this solar stuff keeps up with the way it is, right? But you know what? The road is less traveled up there in Temagami for sure, as compared to Algonquin. Algonquin, you can you can walk 500 yards any direction from any campsite in Algonquin and not find shrub.
Wow, that's
right?
because like
it depends on how far in you go.
True.
Like if you go into Timberwolf Lake or something, that's like 18, 19 kilometers in. Like people will go there, but it's not as populated as like Jubilee Lake. That's just off of Rain Lake or something, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, if you're willing to do the work, you can get away from people.
Yeah.
And find
it's
wood. and
usually
stuff
we
like
try
that.
to go in at least 14 kilometers or so.
That's why we've been known to take 2x4s in Kawartha, just because we know we can't always find wood on certain sites.
Yeah.
I've never had that problem in Temagami, not once.
I've only brought wood in with me twice. Once was in September, and I was with my girlfriend, and the other time was in winter, and my buddy brought some wood from home just to be safe. Like he brought like 3 pieces or something like that just to get the fire started. But yeah.
it's disappointing because like I've always grown up hearing about Algonquin and like one day you got to do Algonquin, one day you got to get to Ontario, dude, you got to do it. And so to hear that much of it, or much of what I would discover my first time going, say not going with say Dennis or one of you guys, has been kind of camped out so hard. It's kind of disheartening, because you always. Even when I was camping as a kid, like car camping out in BC at, Golden Ears or Manning Park or whatever, I have this golden view of what those days were like and what those parks were like. And if you hit Golden Ears today, it's a little different, people have been camping there much longer, and it's just campsites, right? But everything gets crappier over time. Like, even here you used to be able to go to a campsite and find wood, and now you go to a campsite at a sit-back or whatever and you have to buy wood. When I was a kid, you didn't have to buy, you didn't have to spend $7 for a little shows of Yes, Brian Martin, these are all good reasons to go crown land camping. We've discussed this, and as soon as I can find anything in Quebec, that's what I'm going to do.
And it's partly our faults, right? Like, we're promoting camping, and there are more and more people getting out every single day, every year. I hear it constantly. I haven't gone camping in 50 years, and I saw your videos, and, I'm doing it now. And, we're kind of the instigators in that situation. But, I'd rather have people get out and have to buy firewood at a car campground, because it's nice that
at least there,
people need to appreciate nature in order to fight for it. I mean, Kevin says that all the time. It's It's one of his
If you
big.
don't use it, it ends up being logged, right?
And you're not gonna try to save it when people
Yeah.
come to tear it down.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so it's kind of a Hobson's choice, right? If people aren't camping, eventually everything gets sold off for resource development. But if people are camping, then it's just a different kind of resource development. They're taking all the damn wood.
So,
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword, right?
Yeah.
Damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. But
Yeah.
you know what? You got to get out there. Best we could do is try to preserve whatever we can.
Whatever
out
there is left, yeah.
And stay away from chopping down live trees. See it all too often.
Do you?
Oh, you know what? Whenever I go backcountry camping, I'll come across an area or the littered campsites. I know that's every canoeist. That's one of our biggest pet peeves. Is it not, Kevin? Going to a campsite and finding having it destroyed with garbage and trash, but then finding fresh trees cut down, living trees cut down for wood, and you could tell they are because it's a pine tree and it's still got green pine needles on the damn thing.
Yeah,
and it's happens all the time.
I've done it. I haven't done it for firewood intentionally, but I mean, for that one shelter I made, we cut down a few live trees. Like most of them were rotting and dying, but there were a few live ones. But also for like a beam or something like that in the shelter, you kind of want to make sure that it's not going to crack above your head if you got like 3 feet of snow on it or something, right? So
yeah.
Well, and I guess if you're making withies and stuff, then by definition you're using live saplings. But I mean, like I wouldn't chop down a live tree for.
Well, and if you do. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just sort of going through my head, like what the cases would be for taking down a live tree versus, because obviously I wouldn't do it for firewood.
Right.
I can see what you're saying about making sure that there's still some spring there in case something cracks under 3 feet of snow or something.
Yeah.
Like it's dangerous to say I would never blah. So I'm just sort of thinking about. There are certain cases, but.
Yeah, and like if you're doing like a spruce bough floor in your shelter, it's going to be live trees as well, right? Like you can't really get around that.
Yeah, and honestly, I've never made a freaking withy. I don't think I'm going to do that. I mean, I like to watch Ray Mears do it, but I'm not. Here I am making withies instead of bringing rope like I should have done.
That's one thing. That's why, like right now, I've got a series going on my channel there. I'm building that raised back lean-to, but that's a shelter I'm going to be using all the time. It bothers me when I see a lot of videos out there where guys are cutting down these live trees to make shelters for like a one-off. They're going to sleep under it for one night and then they're going to leave it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of destructive, in my opinion. But you know what? To each his own. But we have to kind of be mindful of all this stuff because.
Yeah,
the trees are going down faster than they're going up, right? And
we plan on having our shelter for a little while, like for the winter, maybe next winter too. So, yeah.
I think Camper Christina and I we talked about this around the campfire too. It's like, and Dennis too, and all of you guys, we're all on social media, and we talked about this a couple weeks ago too. Is we all are on view, right? So it's like people watch us, and whether you like it or not, people do. So what you do means a lot. Even used to watch it. Even used to. Okay. And so, for example, I wrote a piece for Paddling Magazine. It was one of my butt end pieces. And I was really worried about it because I wrote a piece called Fake Bushcrafters or something like that, or Wannabe Bushcrafters.
Fake Bushcrafters. Yeah.
What was it called?
I think it was Fake Bushcrafters.
Was it? Yeah.
It was a really good piece. I read it.
Yeah, and it was a serious piece, and it's nothing to do with bushcrafting and all those people. It had to do with people abusing and watching a YouTube video and ruining a Algonquin Park by putting up a shelter and then leaving, right? And I really, the editor, Katie, good friend of mine, she said, "Are you sure you want to put this out? Like you wrote this late at night. Are you sure you want to put this out?" In the morning, I went, "Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good." And because it was nothing to do with knocking bushcrafting. In fact, you read the article, I'm a huge admirer of bushcrafting and the art of whatever. But put it out, and I then in the morning I was like, oh my God, what have I done? My colleague said, Kevin, you sure you want to put this out? I haven't received one negative comment on that. I've had all these bushcrafters saying, you're dead on. You should not go and create a campsite for bushcrafting on Penn Lake or it was a Clydesdale Lake, I think it was where it was, and then just leave it. And it was because these young kids had watched a YouTube video about making bushcraft stuff. And you know what? Who cares? Like they're young. They're out in the woods, like Camper Christina said. They're out in the woods, and it's really good. But at the same time, we really have to be watchful. And I told myself not to actually go and do this because it's your turn, Camper Christina. I'm going to shut up.
You're halfway there, Kevin.
No, I'm done.
Well, you know what, though, guys? This has been a great night. We're like an hour and 25 minutes into overtime, which is pretty good.
Now.
Pardon me?
No, I didn't want to do this tonight.
But I love watching you do this.
No, it's Camper Christina's moment. I did not. I just wanted to listen. I didn't want. I'm out. Okay, you're on your own.
Dennis, if you are about to shut it down, I just want to say something because obviously I'm doing mine in a half hour or something. Camper Christina and Sue, on my channel I make a lot of noise. I have an 8-year-old daughter who is my occasional co-host, and I'm always looking for women doing this for her to look up to. So I'm glad that I discovered you two tonight. I'm going to check out your channels and.
Thank you.
All right.
Do you have a YouTube channel?
Me?
Yes.
No. It's a blog.
When are you going to become
Works
addicted?
for me.
It is an addiction.
Oh no.
Yeah.
And I just like to add that my channel is kid friendly, but not made for kids.
Yeah, mine too. But of course, who knows
Yeah,
what
a lot of
YouTube
my
thinks.
adventures we do as a family, and there's a lot of times I actually take out my 11-year-old now. He just turned 11 on with just myself, so it's just the two of us going. So
That's awesome.
great.
Now, do you live in close proximity to Christina?
No,
No? Okay.
no, we're like 4 hours apart.
Oh, is that right? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we try to meet in the middle. Sometimes we do a lot of trips to Halliburton because of that, so that one of us is driving 2 and one of us is driving an hour and a half or whatever. But the real places to go, especially in the winter, it's just there's not much snow down there. So
It means I drive the 4+ hours and then we go from her place.
A long way to go for a coffee, huh?
Yep,
For sure.
we do it.
but I'm worth it.
Well, I'm gonna ask all 6 of you. I'm gonna get ready to shut this down for about 9:30 here. I just got a few things I need to announce. Please do not leave the panel. I just like to get you in the green room for a few minutes after the show. In closing, people, I'd like to thank everybody that popped in tonight to meet and greet and converse with Camper Christina. It's been an awesome night, and to have Sue on and Chris and Kevin and earlier Nate, of course, and Kevin or Martin. It's all been great, and you too, Jess. Sorry, didn't mean to.
It's okay. My ego is this big, so it's okay. It's not out of my way.
You know, Dennis, I'm always tripping over my tongue, right? If you haven't already done so, I'm sure most in the chat have already been on Camper Christina's YouTube channel, but be sure to check it out. Hit that subscribe button for her, like her channel, hit the bell notification because she's always got great content going up. And she also has a great Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram account. So get on those as well. Check them all out. Don't forget to subscribe, of course, to Canoehound Adventures and my Facebook page as well for both Canoehound Adventures and Canoehound's Outdoor Adventures show, so you can be up to date with everything that's coming on the show. We do have a couple of good shows coming up in the future as far as like outdoorsy shows. Not this show, but We got the 9th annual Ontario Backcountry Canoe Symposiums happening on April 4th, 2020. And I'm sure Dave would appreciate me pushing this because this event sells out. So if any of you have not got your tickets for that, buy them now. Because how many people are in that auditorium? Probably 300?
500 is the max, but he usually sells 450 tickets because he doesn't want people to have a bad seat. But I'm pretty sure the winter show they did 500 because it was pretty full.
It was pretty cool.
It's a great event. If you want to meet some great people, hear some great presentations. He hasn't got the presenter lineup done quite yet, but he's working on that. So make sure you get your tickets for that. They're not expensive, and it's a great day. Trust me. I went to my first one 2 weeks ago, and I had a hoot, as my grandpa used to say. Right?
I heard Sue is going to be on.
Next week, please tune in next week. Next week we have Sean Rowley and Derek Specht from the great podcast Paddling Adventures Radio. If you're not tuned into that, check it out because it's always a great listen. That's all I listen to in my truck anymore. I haven't listened to music in my truck in about 2 months, so it's always a great. And they're celebrating their 200th episode coming up. So that's definitely a reason to celebrate with them, and you can do it right here on Canoehound's Outdoor Adventure Show. And until next time, people, thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Dennis from Canoehound Adventures, and remember, people, keep the adventures alive. Christina.
That was such a great ending. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Thanks to Sue for coming by, and Chris and Kevin, and I didn't even get your name.
It's Chris, right?
No.
Who?
Yeah, she said.
Oh, me? Oh,
Yes.
down here?
Yes. I
That's
can't
Jeff
see
down in the
it. I don't
corner.
know it.
Radiant.
Thanks, Christina, for being a guest, man. You've been awesome through this whole thing. We sent 200 emails back and forth to each other. It's been awesome, and I hope we
He
can
said
stay
I
in
was
contact.
thorough, Sue.
And you never know. Maybe
Wow.
get out there in my solo canoe, and you can show me some more Temagami.
Like this, not like this.
Yep. I got a bad shoulder. No,
No bicycle, right, Kevin?
Anyways, everybody, good night. Have yourselves a great week, and we'll see you next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Thanks,
Ciao.
everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Night.